The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he.
Is my wife. Well, she's not wearing the same one. And the shirt says USC Dad. And I know where Jason's coming from, because it would be the equivalent of if Jason was wearing a shirt that said like University of Florida Dad. I'm a huge FSU fan. And now, yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I'll do it. I'll do it. Here, he's bringing a hoodie. Oh, it smells like biscuits and love. And so Mel's wearing hers. I'm wearing mine. You know, we're going down there in 2 weeks. Is that better? Look.
Can't wear that on the weekend, or
we're all wearing them today because it's start of the
start of what?
The onboarding orientation starts today.
So you have to wear that today?
Well, we're students and family are encouraged to show their school spirit. Students, family, and you know, we're trying to roll with it. And today's the day she has meets with her counselor, Zooms with her counselor to pick her classes. So we're all going to be there to help her with that. And you know, 30,
11, that's fine.
I didn't come empty-handed. I knew this would be tough for you. And as I said, when you were outside, it'd be like if you wore like a University of Florida, you know,
which I would not do.
I feel you.
Do you?
I mean, not physically. That'd be weird. So I thought about this. So here, look. Here's the deal. Anytime I wear FSU gear or USC gear,
you're gonna do this again?
I may have to.
Have to?
But there's a good side to it. I thought about this. I've put a lot of thought into this. Okay. So I'm holding in my hand.
Get used to paying for things.
$1. And what I'm going to do every time is I'm going to slide it to you, and you donate that to the charity of your choice. And then that way, even though it sucks to have to look at this, you can feel better knowing that you're helping out. It's real. I promise. It's not. Yeah, you can bring in one of those pens, and you're helping out hungry kids.
Smells crooked.
Well, I used it for something. Hungry kids. Those dogs that get beaten all the time, and Sarah McLachlan sings about it. Some diseases, not all. Just
think about all the charity you could help. If your daughter went to UCLA,
that is the charity.
Half the money
she is the charity.
It will cost you.
I know.
And all you told me for years is, guess what?
What?
The school of her choice is UCLA.
That's what she told me.
And then she got in.
Yes. And it
Couldn't have been more proud.
You saw the video.
I was wearing UCLA stuff. I want Crystal. We were so happy for her.
I bought the pennant and the UCLA dad stuff and the mugs. The mugs. We had mugs.
And you rope-a-doped me.
No, she rope-a-doped us both.
Quick to buy that USC gear
I
there.
don't like USC. You know that. You know, growing I'm an FSU guy. I can't like USC. At UCLA, at least it's like okay. Like I don't like anything LA. But if I had to choose, I can say this. Now, this is obviously probably going to change because just she's going there. I can't help that. But if I had to choose, I will make this public statement. If I had to choose between UCLA and USC, it would be UCLA every time. Not even a second thought.
Hollow words.
I know. Matt Barnes. What's his face that made the shot that in the tournament that was a king? I forget his name. The really good shot, like the last second, the buzzer beater in the tournament, like in the 90s.
Tyson.
Thank you, Tyson. Tyson.
How quickly you forget.
Katie's husband, who was on Survivor.
Yeah.
Other people probably from around here. Lots of them. So, but the good news. Hungry dogs. No, is hungry kids beating dogs. Or beating kids hungry dogs. I don't know. Whichever way you want to throw it. Every time, and we're good. And then you can be like, you know what? Your wife says, how was your day? You say, you know what? I did a good thing today. So, well, what did you do good today, honey? And you say, well, I helped out some kids. I helped
again.
It's just like, yeah, right. Like you're like, yeah. Well, how'd you do that? I did the show. Well, what does that have to do with helping out beating animals? Well, I had to look at a USC shirt all day.
And I should say, why would Dave do that to
right,
you?
And anything for like a kid. Well, not any kid. I don't like any of the other kids. My kid. The other kids can go, jump off a trampoline or whatever they do. Merry-go-round. Look, I'm covered up. You can't be
without
mad.
my help.
You can't be mad anymore.
Wear it inside out. Could have that logo on the back.
I thought of that, but then it's itchy. I don't like itchy.
That's a good thing I haven't signed that contract.
I heard you say to Anthony in there, did you see the Denzel Clarke catch?
Did you see the Denzel Clarke catch? It's like the third week in a row he's going to get catch of the week.
It was insane.
Yes.
And out of nowhere, Denzel Clarke has presented a very rare problem for me that I need to work on. It's a problem I've had in the past. I think only with a couple athletes, but I really want to say Denzel Ward. I have to. It's the Channel 13, Channel 10 thing in my head. I literally have to reverse it every time.
Clark Denzel.
No.
Denzel Washington?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about Mount Denzilmore, Mount Denzilmore, Washington, obviously, the number one.
Yeah.
Ward.
Now Clark.
Is there another Denzel? Oh, the girl who sang Frozen, Adina Denzel.
The wickedly talented.
Does anybody else in any household watch the Tonys other than my wife and daughter? That the Tonys were on Sunday or whatever they were. They watched the whole thing.
I always thought that was like Danza, Soprano, Gwen.
How did it become the Tonys?
Anthony.
Right.
Yeah, I actually made it. That's what happened.
Why aren't they the Billies or the Johnnies or the...
I mean, why are they the Oscars too?
Great point.
Why? Oh, what am I doing? Hold on. Hey, Siri. Why are they called the Oscars?
The name Oscars originated from Margaret Herrick, who served as a librarian and secretary of the Academy until 1945 When she became the executive director until 1971, she had made a remark that the Academy Awards statue looked like her Uncle Oscar, and the nickname suddenly stuck.
Really?
So much so that the Academy eventually officially adopted it.
Okay, so it's like the. Okay, shut up.
Wow.
So
Her uncle is made out of gold. That's pretty impressive.
how
I love girl.
right? How amazing is that for Oscar? He's
Yeah.
like that. Well, kind of looks like me.
Uncle Oscar.
Now I want to see a picture of Uncle Oscar.
Yeah.
But also, like,
He's a little feller.
right, very short.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hold on. Hey Siri, why are they called the Tonys? No, I don't want to call Tony.
Ah.
Hey Siri, why are they called the Tony Awards?
Siri's still thinking about Oscar.
No, she's not going to say it though. She doesn't want to talk because I told her to shut up. The Tony Awards are named after Antoinette Perry, whose nickname was Tony, an actress, director, producer, and co-founder of the American Theater Wing, who died in 1946.
This all happened back in the 40s, the Oscars and the Tonys.
Are they little statues too? Like, do they get a little statue of Tony?
Of the girl that the lady
Antoinette?
yeah, Tony Award, I don't know what trophy.
It's like the Heisman. They're stiff arming the competition.
They've got one of them canes that you pull people. It's like a I don't know, like
a coin that's
spins on a globe.
Now, why would they name that after a person?
Yeah, I don't know. What the hell are the Emmys? That's got to be something.
That's the Emmy next to.
Yeah, but where? Why is it called an?
That's it from the 1940s. Someone that looked like Emma.
Hey Siri, why is it called an Emmy? I don't want to call Emily. Hey Siri, why is it called the Emmy Award? Okay, the name Emmy comes from the nickname Immy, I-M-M-Y, used to describe the image orthicon camera tube that was a significant, you want to guess the decade?
40s.
1940s technical breakthrough in capturing images for television. Because the statue features a female figure holding an electron, the name Emmy was feminized to Emmy. Well, that's what that's. I always thought the Emmy was like a globe, like like the guy outside Atlas outside the Rockefeller Center. He's holding up the globe like that. That's what I thought that always was. I didn't know that was an atom that represents the camera tube. Well, that's pretty cool. Okay, you know where I'm going last now, right?
Where?
Hey Siri, why is it called a Grammy Award?
I think we can answer that one.
Oh, can you? Go ahead.
It's a gramophone. Is it not like literally a gramophone?
Anthony.
Yeah, just ask me. Put the phone away.
The name Grammy is named after a gramophone. Circle gets the square. You know who wouldn't have had that answer? Christopher Laud. Well, I think we've learned things.
My mother-in-law is referred to as Grammy by the grandkids.
Is
she a gramophone?
Can I just say honestly, what a great bit it would be if, like, every year she would like give awards for like the grandkid of the year, and they'd be called the Grammys. I feel like that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm the reigning grandchild of the year. I had a wonderful, like, the nominees are Billy, and then you have like Billy this year got straight A's and also scored 7 points in a game in basketball for school. Jenny did the dishes whenever she was asked, and also assisted Grandpa in mowing the lawn in March. You just that's actually not a terrible idea. Deion Sanders ranks his kids.
He does. Power rankings every week.
Why not have the Grammy. I think it's okay to look at anything you can do to motivate kids and get them to want to do something. Somebody wants a Mount. Oh, it was Russ wants a Mount Oscar Moore.
Meyer.
Grouch.
Gamble. De La Hoya.
Oscar. Oh, Oscar. Yeah. Isn't there a food that's like steak Oscar or something Oscar? No. Yeah, but nobody cares.
Robertson.
Yeah.
Robertson, De La Hoya, Meyer.
Yeah, you have to have Grouch.
Oh.
Oscar the Grouch. Don't you? Right? That's a Mount Oscar Moore.
Yeah. Say Oscar, I think of the puppet.
Not the Oscars.
Oh, yeah.
So what gets booted?
Okay, so you've got
the Grouch.
You've got. I feel like you want the Grouch, but I'm feeling some weird tension between you and Oscar the Grouch. Like I don't think you rank Oscar the Grouch high enough.
Oscar the Grouch attended USC.
Oscar Meyer has to be on there. I think Oscar the Grouch has to be on there. Oscar De La Hoya.
Oh, okay. I thought you might be booting him.
Who's the other one? Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, he's got.
Or the Oscars. Oof. Crap, I don't know, man. I'm telling Jason, you gotta trust me. Oscar the Grouch has to be. He has to be top 4. Right. Anthony, am I right? He's got to be.
Yeah, I'd put him up there.
So De La Hoya's getting the boot.
De La Hoya for the Oscar. Yeah, you have to have the Oscars on there too.
But is it the statue or is it Uncle Oscar? Random Uncle Oscar.
Either one doesn't matter. It's Oscar.
Oscar Meyer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Booting Oscar Meyer.
I don't know.
Oscar Meyer versus Oscar Robertson.
Robertson's not getting booted. Is he?
No, I think you got to boot. I think De La Hoya's got to go.
Wow.
I know. I think it's recency bias not to.
Are we missing an Oscar?
100% we are.
Yeah. We
are 100% missing. Wasn't one of the Odd Couples an Oscar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't think that gets on there.
No.
Was there a Oscar? Was one of the Marx brothers? Nah.
Oscar Marx.
Yeah, Oscar Gamble doesn't get on there, guys. Sorry. I think I don't know. Feel free.
Yeah. There you go. You got your Mount Oscar Moore.
We got our you're hey, you know what? You're welcome.
Yeah.
All Request Sports Radio.
Yes.
That actually be kind of a fun thing to do this. We should have an all request segment every day this summer. Just one segment that's all request. Just like on the radio. Just hey,
play the hits.
Play the hits. You can you know what? You have a weird trade you want us to look at? No problem. You want us to weigh in on NASCAR? Fine. You want us to do a Mount whatever more? Fine.
What's happening? I like this segment.
And I also think we should do a Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmores. Yeah. Like one of the best Mount Rushmores of all time. No, I wouldn't put leading off on Mount Rushmore. No. Oh, that was off the air. All right. We'll do leading off right now.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Yastrzemski pulls it down the right field line. That is a fair ball into the corner. There it is. Flores scores. Chapman right behind him in the second with a double. Mike Yastrzemski, and he's tied the game.
No Giants last night.
No, that's a preview for tonight.
That was, hopefully. They open up against the Colorado Rockies. Colorado Rockies. Kind of rolls off the tongue. Never noticed that before. It's kind of a nice, satisfying Colorado Rockies.
Only when you say it like that.
Yeah, the Colorado Rockies. If it was Colorado, that'd be awesome.
Colorado Rockies.
It is. It's kind of fun. Hey, look, it's kind of fun to say. You got to find. You got to find happy moments in life. 38-28 are the Giants. 12-53 are the Rockies. Harrison versus Palmquist. Well, let's go. Coors Field, Denver, Colorado. And if there's ever a place to get the offense going, it would be at Coors Field. And the Giants are currently, they have sole possession of second place after the Dodgers-Padres game last night, which we will talk about. The Giants just 1.5 games out of first place, and they would be in first place in, well, one of the division, the AL West, I guess. But they're right there, Jason, and we'll talk a little bit later about what the Giants need to do at a minimum in this series to have it considered a success.
Cover the spread.
Cover the spread. Cut number 2, please.
Cut number 2.
So we just use the opportunity to get better. We've done a really good job of that all year, and last game was no different. Tonight is the same thing. We did some things good tonight. We did some things bad, and we got to be able to get better and get ready for game 3.
Gary is weighing in on the YouTube chat. I don't know that I've seen Gary in here before, and welcome in.
Hi, Gary.
Gary says Oscar Piastri, the leader in F1 points right now. We'll throw that in consideration.
Wasn't the guy
Oscar Pistorius?
Yes,
I knew exactly. Yes, with the flip flops that you know what I'm talking. Whatever they were. That I'm not trying to be disrespectful. He had the things for the is that what they were called? I'm sorry, the blades. Yeah, well, I mean, look, I don't feel bad, but he did. Yeah, I thought he did it.
Okay,
I thought he really did not do.
Well,
he did very yes, not. He is denied. Okay. He is denied. He could have
could make him more famous.
Infamous, and we don't do
Mount
infamous.
Jail more.
Yeah, exactly. Mount Prison more. Well, the blades, is that what they were called?
I think.
Well, because I wasn't just they went when he.
They did?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Or is that maybe in my head? I don't know. I don't know. I just realized.
They went.
That's what I hear when I think of him running.
I think you watch games and stuff muted, and you input your own sound.
My own sound effects. Yeah. Oh no!
I'm going fast.
I just realized I made that own sound up in my head. Like that wasn't really when you pushed me on it. I went, "Oh God, I've never heard what they sound like." That's just in my head, and I'm doing, but I really mean more like
suction cups.
Yes, like suction cups.
That'd be harder to run.
Here's a good one. Oscar De La Renta.
Oh yeah,
from
there you
Jeff.
Go. Yeah.
I prefer Oscar De La Ona because of the interest. This is gonna be one of them days. Cut number 3, please.
Cut number 3.
Bouncing ball to short. Zach Neto has that. Say goodnight to the A's. The Angels behind Yusei Kikuchi tonight. And some power as well, winning 7-4.
Yeah, well, the A's won the battle, but lost the war. When I say won the battle, Jason Ross, I mean this.
Now the 1-0 pitch to Nolan Shanovo, left-hander hitter, 5-ball left center. Denzel going back, nearing the track, at the track, right to the wall, leaping, climbing the wall. Did he catch it? He did! You can't believe what this kid is doing in center field. He got himself suspended on top of the wall and brought it back for out number 2. Every day is a highlight show.
I mean, literally, SportsCenter just showed 3 of them. So he had an incredible catch at Toronto, which I'm like, that's one of the best catches I've seen. I saw the one live Friday night at home against Baltimore where he just slams into the wall at full speed, and it looked like he just blew up, but he held onto the ball. And that was better than the first one. And then last night's is one of the best catches of all time, honestly.
It really...
If he could only hit.
For real. He's got 3 stolen base. I was looking at his stats yesterday. I'm like, is this guy a defensive specialist?
Yeah.
He's young still.
Yeah. But he's incredible.
Oh, my thing. Blue Jay, center fielder.
Devon White.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Shea. But better.
Yeah.
And Devon White had some insane catches. And everybody always thinks of Ken Griffey Jr., that monster of a wall. Jim Edmonds, to me, had the greatest catch of all time. Obviously, Willie Mays. But is that the greatest catch of all time? Okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, it's not. Let's just say there's better. But
it goes on the list of highlights.
Has anyone had a better highlight 2 weeks than this kid coming up for the A's?
Right.
It's ridiculous.
And now you just feel like anything's in play.
The one where they just showed it. The one where he ran 7
into
miles and slammed in the wall.
I mean, live when you seen, you're like, that's in the gap. Or one, you thought it was gone. Then it's in the gap, and you're like, man, he's not stopping.
No.
And then when he catches it, slams the wall, like his glass, like stuff flies. So you thought.
I thought the ball was next to him.
That's what I thought.
Always
so
think the ball is next to him.
And I don't know what that is, but from my seat, too, you're like, oh, he dropped it.
Yeah, it
but
looks like the ball.
The other outfielder's not doing anything.
Right,
like,
right.
Oh, my God. And then it was a delayed reaction of whether he caught the ball.
Knocked himself a little silly.
Yeah, but for us in the stand, you're like, oh, wait. And then if people started standing up because they realized he caught the ball.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. And you're absolutely right. Now, Andrew Jones, to me, is top 5, if not higher, all-time defensive center fielder. And the problem with Andrew Jones is that he was so damn quick that he didn't have to dive a lot of the times. He just did the thing. It's hard to compare, but you have individual single greatest catches, but then you have, again, Jim Edmonds. That's a guy that did all these insane catches.
Right.
And it looks like Clark's on his way there. As you just said, God, can he please just hit?
Right.
Don't be the guy that's just like the defensive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine, but
give him time. I'm not saying he, can't do it at all, but it's that's hasn't been his forte yet.
No, but man, what a bright. I mean, between him and Jacob Wilson, there's bright spots for these A's for sure. We'll take a break. Safer out when we get back. Big show for you today. We're going to have Tom Morton, head pro over at Hagen Oaks, who I've said before, not only is a dear friend, but also just does so much for the Sacramento community from a charity point of view. Zach Polo is his student from Rockland, went to Whitney Oaks, now entering, I think, his junior year, senior year, entering one of those years at the University of Arizona, qualified for the U.S. Open. And Tom was sending some of them, I posted pictures from Oakmont yesterday. Obviously the rough, videos of trying to get out of the rough, picture of Zach and Bryson DeChambeau posing and smiling. Just such a cool experience for this kid, a local kid. And we'll get Tom real briefly at 7:28 to just kind of talk about. I'm telling you, whether you're a golf fan or not, you're going to see meltdowns this weekend. It's going to be a U.S. Open is a brutal tournament. Kevin Nagel on the final day of our 3-day ramp up to the stadium vote tonight, the development for the rail yards, owner of the Sac Republic, leader of this development downtown. He's going to join us at 8 to kind of bring this thing home for the afternoon vote. And we'll look ahead to tomorrow, the NBA Finals Game 3 in Indiana, and a lot more. Safer out. The Giants open tonight. What do they need to do? Is the best team in baseball. And your Soakland A's, Sacramento. I don't know. We'll get to it next.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT because nothing fights sweat better.
Stay fresher under pressure. Skeeter here. Got a question. What's small and dark with white bands on its legs and bites during the day?
Mosquitoes. Hi, I'm Luz Maria Robles, but these are 2 new types of day-biting mosquitoes. They're invading our area and becoming a big problem.
And they can be dangerous.
But we're on it, so when you see them, report it at fightthebite.net. In the meantime, use insect repellent and drain stagnant water around your yard.
We're here to help with these day-biting mosquitoes.
Visit us at fightthebite.net.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Avriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra. Tickets are available now at CITPFest.com.
thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
We get it. Tariffs are tough. Power tools are getting expensive. But at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, we're solving that problem for 2 short days on June 20th and June 21st. We're putting all DeWalt power tools on massive discount. Batteries for less than $100. Combo kits for under $150. 20% off all regular price tough system boxes and much, much more. So stop by Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento on June 20th and 21st for some of the lowest prices on tools you'll ever see this year. To see all of what's on sale, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, looking for something positive in the midst of a dismal stretch for the A's, center fielder Denzel Clarke, finishing his second weekend in the big leagues and playing in his hometown of Toronto, went 4 for 9 with a home run in the last 3 games of the series and also made a sensational Spider-Man leaping catch over the wall in center field, robbing Alejandro Kirk of a home run. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. It's how retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And it's how healthcare offices become data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business.
Louis C.K. in an all-new show, Ridiculous 2025 Tour.
When I was younger, you had to go in the bank. Remember that? You had to go inside the bank. Now you look in the bank, you're like, what are those people doing in there? Are they cleaning? The money's out here.
Friday and Saturday, June 13th and 14th, 8 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit thundervalleyresort.com. Louis C.K. live on stage.
Safe or out? It's time to go around baseball. 3 pitches, 3 swings. It's safe or out on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, safe or out time coming up here in just a moment. Again, as Dave mentioned earlier, we're going to check in with Tom Morton in about an hour. Yeah, an hour from now. He's going to be live from the U.S. Open, working as a caddy this week. Pretty special story. Look forward to talking to him. That's at 7:30. Kevin Nagel will join us at 8 ahead of the big vote tonight. See how that all goes. That's looking encouraging at the moment, but, you still want to got to wait till it's all done.
In this town, man, it ain't over till it's over, and there's always something going on.
Yep.
But big moment. And actually, you know what? The audience has been pretty cool about this. I always worry when we do stuff like this. Someone's going to be like, talk about the game. But, actually, I haven't seen one complaint. It's one of the things I think we really value about being live and local from 6A to 6P is you're gonna get the opportunity to talk about issues that are local. And us being a sports station, let's be honest, the stuff to do, the music, the concerts, the housing, there's a lot of cool stuff about it. But the sports, Like the sports that we're going to get,
right?
The sports that we're going to have, it's just to not have to go to Cal Expo anymore to be able to go check that out and just really see the city grow. I mean, it's worth spending a little bit of time on. So we'll bring it home today, and hopefully they'll bring that home. I guess, didn't the mayor say this afternoon, weirdly?
Yeah, I think he said 2, and then there's a
budget thing.
Budget vote later. That's what I thought he said.
Yeah. So, and then we'll of course have a report tomorrow, hopefully after it passes. So good luck to everybody involved. In the meantime, Anthony is involved while Chris Verlot is on vacation, doing a great job. Anthony, not Chris. Safer out. Question 1.
The Giants open tonight versus the Rockies. How many do they need to win to consider the series a success?
Well, the Rockies are currently knocking on the door for the Giants' second place spot. They're 25.5 back, but that's come down the last couple weeks. I don't know if it's time to worry. Look in your rearview mirror if you're San Francisco. But they are going into Coors Field, and they are playing 3 with the Rockies. Jason, I'm really struggling between, obviously, the bare minimum is 2 of 3, but part of me is going, God, do they need it? Is taking 2 of 3 from the Rockies considered a success these days?
I mean, you're right, because in my mind, I want to go, you need to sweep them.
Yeah.
But I don't know that they'll be thrilled if they go to, but that's winning a series. That's still making progress. That's knocking games down. I just don't think, I think 2 of 3 is the floor.
Sure.
For sure.
Sure.
But you target going for the sweep. But yeah, 2 of 3, I don't think would be awful. Just I don't know that everybody loves it.
The Rockies are 3-11 in their last 14. They won. Imagine being the Miami Marlins, just and the last team the Rockies beat before the Marlins. Oh, New York Yankees. What happened on that day? What happened Friday, May 23rd, Jason, for the Rockies to beat the Yankees? What was there? Did they have the flu? Aaron can't fault Aaron Judge.
Of course not. Sure, he homered.
Yeah, 17th home run, 45th RBI. Went 2 for 4 with 2 runs and an RBI. As a matter of fact, scored both the Yankees' runs.
Yeah.
Nobody else did anything around him. Goldschmidt had an RBI. Okay, great. Where are you, Trent Grisham? Where are you, Rice? Where are you, Volpe? LeMahieu? All offers. Wow, get it together. Sorry to bring that up, Jason.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Number 2, please.
Who is the best team in baseball right now?
Ooh, that's a great question, Anthony. That's a really good question. Well, by record, the Detroit Tigers by a half game over the New York Mets. The New York Yankees are in third. Why is it, Jason, that I just want to glide? I want to glide towards the Yankees and Dodgers. Like it just seems right. I'll tell you something.
You got like the Cubs in there.
The Cubbies are 40-26.
Yeah.
And look fantastic.
The Mets are up there.
The Mets are second. They're a half back of the Tigers for best record. Hell, the Giants have the 6th best record in baseball. They're tied with the Phillies. And then you've got the Padres, Astros, and Rays rounding it out. I think the Detroit Tigers are playing the best right now. They're just super damn good. I feel like the Detroit Tigers are turning into my Oklahoma City Thunder. If my team can't win it, that's why.
You do like the Tigers.
I do. I think I like it. It's the blue collar town, the unis, the hats. I always felt like the Detroit Tigers, maybe this is completely off base, but the Detroit Tigers hats were always like, to me, like a second cousin of the Yankees. Just in the, it's obviously it's a big white D, but
Wow.
But the scripting and the look to me always kind of reminded me of the Yankee hats.
Because of why?
Just the way they look.
Oh, I guarantee it.
And their uniforms, Tom Selleck, Mr. Baseball.
Yes.
All of this. I don't know why. I don't know why I have this affinity. Sparky Anderson. I don't know why I have this affinity for the Tigers, but I kind of do. And I love what they're doing right now because I honestly think if we polled the audience and said, hey, can you name 4 Detroit Tigers? I think I get Tarek Skubal and like one other at best. I love teams like that. Meanwhile, the Mets.
Kirk Gibson.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, the Mets, fine and dandy and all that, but also their payroll is like $17 billion.
Right, exactly.
It's hard for me to, and then I always am going to have an affinity for the Cubs just because they're the lovable losers who finally won a title, but still.
No longer, but still.
No longer. But I still say it's the Yankees and Dodgers.
Bring it on. Let's have a repeat. I'm okay with that in the World Series.
I think the ratings would be okay with that, too. I think Major League Baseball would be okay with that, too.
I think they would be, too.
I think they'd be just fine with that. Number 3, please.
Is it time for the A's to punt the season?
I think it is.
Well, what does that mean?
Meaning, okay, they obviously, if you say whatever,
playing the young guys anyway.
No, I say whatever you want about the A's, but historically, they have a pretty good eye for talent. They have a pretty, and you look at that team right now and all the homegrown talent that's on it. I really do think they need to trade Mason Miller.
Okay,
I would start there. And you're not making the playoffs this year, barring some insane Scott Hatteberg home run they had. You're not making the playoffs. So just start reloading.
Does it feel like, to me, it feels like they're a little bit early in the process. And what I mean by that is like the years like, oh man, they traded Chapman, they moved Olsen, they moved, like those guys had kind of like, we already knew like these guys are going to be pretty good. And they were good.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Miller might be there now, but it just, are they in the earlier stages of that where maybe if they wait one more year, they might even get more?
I tend to use a rule, and I'm not trying to be a D-bag to you here, but I tend to use a rule of could the Yankees use blank?
Well, of course.
And that just, and you could substitute Dodger, Yankee, whatever.
Well, like every team could use Jacob Wilson, but to me, I think that's a guy.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. Obviously, Mason Miller's got pretty good value for including the Yankees. But also like a Brent Rooker, I think. I mean, imagine Brent Rooker in the pinstripes or the Cubs or the hell the Giants. And it sucks to talk about the A's like they're a farm system, but that's really what they are. And I want to acknowledge that sucks for A's. It should not be this way. But if it is that way right now, take advantage of it, in my opinion, because holding on to these guys if in fact you could get a nice big load of talent, why not go for that and just continue this run? I don't know. But it is early. I agree with you. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take our first look at tomorrow's matchup, Game 3, Pacers and Thunder. And this run that SGA is on is pretty insane. Also, we'll talk about the Thunder being 5.5-point favorites tomorrow. We'll do that in just 2 minutes.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What are you going
Gonna take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, other insurers, not available in all states and situations.
Ugh, I gotta get business cards printed for my entire staff, but where do I even?
That was ezy.
Oh, okay, Staples. But can I have bigger stuff printed too, like huge signs and banners?
That was easy.
Nice. And what if I had to ship a package?
That was easy.
Have my passport photo taken?
That was easy.
Coffee and snacks?
That was easy.
What about the latest laptops?
That was
Earbuds
easy.
and headphones?
That was
Office
easy.
chairs?
That was easy.
I think I also need to get some Staples.
Seriously?
I had to ask.
For everything your business needs to get the job done.
Staples. That was easy.
The hot weather is coming. Is your HVAC system ready for it? Let Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating make sure it is. Get to Lee'sAirPlumbingandHeating.com. Check out their $99 HVAC tune-up special. And let me tell you why Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating is the way to go. They took care of me when our heater collapsed over the winter, and Lee set us up with a great new HVAC system that is providing comfort, value, and quality. Let Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating take care of you. License number 635355.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
They're not the type of style where you're just like keying on one player, you know, just because of the way they play. And so they're a more conceptual team, and you have to be kind of a conceptual defense against them. And if you do that, I think it has a downstream effect on everybody against them. And so I thought we were able to do that tonight. I thought, like I said to Nick's question, the guys just really improved in a lot of like subtle areas, you know, from game 1 to game 2, which is what you have to do in a playoff series to stay ahead of the series.
What's so funny about that?
There's so much funny about what's going on right now. So you're just joining us and you're not able to see. It's the start of the onboarding process for my kid in USC. So I'm wearing for the first time, I'm wearing this. You hadn't noticed this USC dad shirt. And by the way, it looks like it just says USC. So on the YouTube, so it's USC dad. So Jason, I had said earlier, I said I understand where Jason's coming from, being a huge UCLA fan. That would be like if he was wearing a Florida Gators dad shirt or something, right? Or something that showed that he was a fan of the Gators. I'm an FSU guy. So during the break, Jason printed out.
Well, that's just part of the shirt.
A full color logo. Full color logo.
Half color. I don't know. I had to do it fast.
Of the Florida Gators mascot logo, whatever it is, and wrote fan underneath. And the best part is he didn't just like, it's not just a paper. This is what's really getting me. It's not just a paper with like the logo on it. It says Florida Gators soccer blue colored logo wallpaper from wallpapers.com. It
was a 2 minutes.
He just did a print screen.
I was pretty proud of it.
This is the Jason Ross edition of when Paul Pierce sent the rocket ship back in
This is my emoji.
He just printed it out. Oh, yuck, by the way.
Oh, really?
All right. Wow. Well, I hope you know this means war.
Yeah.
Also, a show announcement for you.
Yeah.
You actually don't even know this. As a matter of fact, I wanted to say
enough surprises today.
This isn't a bad one. I've been told by the powers that be that the show name is changing. Instead of it being the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, from here on out, it will be known as The Drive Guys.
Yeah.
With Kyle Draper and Kevin Gleason.
Nice.
If you're on YouTube right now, you can see that's already changed. And honestly,
I like that.
The only thing that I think is good, it changed back. Wow. Okay, I thought that was actually happening. That's crazy. Don't feel bad, Anthony. Chris does that once a week. Although it was the time change that really got me. I thought that would be
do this at 6 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was going to be 2 to 6.
Yeah, I'd sign up for that.
Welcome back.
You okay over there?
I came in profusely apologizing.
You didn't have to wear it.
Well, I also I don't have to. Nobody has to do anything.
You left the house and nobody in your family was awake.
No.
You could have had the shirt in the car. You could have had the shirt when you got home.
And just told them I wore it today?
No. Well, when you got home, if you put it on, then nobody would. I would never know, most importantly. And they'd be like, yeah, supporting the family. But I feel like you're going to wear that a lot. I'm going to see this more than once.
I listen, I got to be honest.
So get used to this. Give me time to get this on a shirt.
What you need to root for is Mason. In 2 years.
I've already been tricked by this family.
I know. I think you need Mason to go to UCLA. Because then I'll have a,
You'll finally put to use the UCLA dad stuff you have? Or did you already get rid of that?
No, but oh God, I just had a thought.
What?
If Avery goes to USC and Mason goes to UCLA.
Yeah.
Is it appropriate? Is that like the one time it might actually be appropriate? Brace yourself to wear a split shirt.
They have a house divided. I've seen the flags that have, I'm like, it's not that divided.
I mean, yuck. I think Mason can't go to UCLA now, probably just because of that. I don't even know how that works. Anyways, by the way, he has absolutely no interest so far in any of that. Where do you want to go to school, buddy? Well, I don't know, somewhere close, somewhere convenient, and somewhere cheap.
Yeah. Gotta think about money.
Anyways, Oklahoma City's at 5.5-point favorites tomorrow.
Nope. Are you doubting that?
No, we said that they'd be favored. I think that's about right. I think that's the right line from a non-emotional gambling point of view when you're trying to get as much money on both sides as possible.
Yeah,
I think
it's a tad low.
I agree with you. I think 5.5 was kind of the low end. I was expecting 7.5. I'm being honest.
That's the number I think would be probably the sweet spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's also disrespectful to the Pacers.
Well,
no,
there are heavy underdogs.
I hear you.
And again, we go back to yesterday's question, like who should feel better about being 1-1? In one sense, if you're the Pacers, you did what you were supposed to do. But I just don't think there have been enough minutes in the series where you go, they got a shot at this. Now they won game one. They did it.
Right.
So felt like a little bit of a miracle. Barring injuries, I can't see 3 more wins by the Pacers.
I can't either. And I know that all these, every time we say this stuff, myself included, I feel like, oh God, that could come back and haunt us. And to be quite frank, even though I am I am pulling for the Thunder, I would have no problem. What a story if Indiana won.
Oh, I think it would be, like I said, I think it would be great if they won game 3, the Pacers.
Yeah.
Because then there's already a second win. Now you put the doubt in OKC a little bit. You put the doubt in a lot of people, us, people that think the Thunder will win this in 4, well, not 4 anymore, 5, 6 games. And you gave your home fan a reaction. Like, this is what was different in if I'm not mistaken, the Nugget series. The Thunder lost game 1.
Sure.
Throttled them in game 2, but also won game 3. So then it's back to 2-1. They had the lead in the series. Then it was 2-2 and so on and so forth. But I don't know. Even when that got to game 7 and it was like the first 10 minutes of game 7, it's like, ooh, the Denver Nuggets might win this. And then the Thunder won by 40. So
I'm trying to think here. I'm looking at the play-by-play. What did we say that the Pacers led for 0.3 seconds?
Yeah, now it's been, I think it's like a minute.
Is it I was going to say it wasn't that long, right?
They had a couple leads in the first quarter of game 2.
Yeah, I don't think. Okay, well, they led with 2:43 left in the first. But again, they were losing most of the first quarter and then would grab a lead. And I think that was the last time they
it would be back and forth, maybe a 1-point lead.
Yeah. So let's say they've led for 2 of 96 minutes. at most.
Yeah. And it's not a series going in that people thought was even. Like if it was an even series, it wouldn't really be like,
right.
I don't care that they've led barely. I mean, they can still win the series. Again, it's not impossible. Doesn't mean it can't be done. It just doesn't look like it.
If the Pacers won, it's the biggest upset since the Pistons, right? Over the Lakers.
Yeah, I would think so.
I think so. Mavs Heat is the only other one I can think of. Dirk's Mavs.
I mean, maybe
that was the first
Cavs because it was 3-1 and the Warriors won 73 games. But that's as the series goes on. I don't know if it started that way.
I mean, they were. I can't imagine when we were on the air, but to go back the day after Game 4 when the Warriors went up 3-1 after winning, 73.
Yeah, it's like, this is over.
I got to think every person on the station, myself included, was like, well, look, it's in the bag. This series is over.
And Game 5 was in San Francisco or in Oakland.
In Oakland, yeah, like this ain't going 6.
Right.
And when you look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I was looking at this earlier. Since the Thunder went down 2-1 against Denver, he's averaging 35, 6, and 8 on 54, 37, 85 splits. Like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's having a legendary run in the playoffs, as good as any point guard, including Steph Curry, has had.
Yeah, and every time they now show graphics of what he's doing, the people that he's on the list with, there's Jordan, there's LeBron, there's Magic. It's like legends of the game, and what he's doing is right there.
Without upsetting a lot of people, at this point, if you dismiss Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as a foul merchant, is that how we have casual cutoffs? Where if you say X, Y, and Z, you're probably a casual fan. Is that a casual? Like at this point, calling him a free throw? Not that he doesn't draw fouls, not that he doesn't shoot a lot of free throws, but god dang, there is so much more to his game.
Honestly, how many attempts has he had per game or in the 2 games?
I think it's around 9, maybe
9.3.
He's had that many attempts?
That many attempts in the postseason.
Oh, no. How about in these finals?
Oh,
Do you have the game log?
I can get that real quick.
Yeah, because I don't.
Let's see. He is average. Well, 10. He's
10
average.
Each game?
He's not. He was 11 of 12 in Game 1, 7 of 8 in Game 2.
Honestly, that feels higher than I thought. Like watching it, I don't. I haven't felt it that way, but 10's a good amount.
I'm with you. I think part of it too is maybe the fact that he, the Steph Curry notoriously doesn't get a great whistle.
What was it last? Yeah, it was last game. The third quarter of the last game had both teams in the penalty so early, and there was something like 28 free throws combined. And if you're getting fouled and you're in the bonus, and everybody's going to the line.
Yeah, a lot of times it just and not to mention the fact that SGA lives a lot of times in the paint. By the way, I'm just looking here just for fun. SGA is averaging 30.4 points a game on 47, 31, 86 splits. That's this entire postseason in 18 games. There's 1 year, it was 22-23, when Steph averaged 30.5 on 46, 36, 84. So hold on, 46, that was 36, that's better. 84, Shai's actually shooting 2 points better from the line.
The Steph at the line.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. Not to mention, let's see, 7 assists and 5.5 rebounds for Shai on 1.8 steals versus 5.3, 5.1, and 1 steal. It honestly is very interesting to compare this postseason run to Steph's best postseason run and actually say, you know what, you make a pretty good argument SGA's got the better all-time postseason run going right now. I think a lot of Warrior fans and basketball fans in general will be like, that is sacrilege.
Right. But here we are.
But here, it doesn't pass the eye test. Okay, we'll take a break. When we come back, 3 for madness. Tyrese Halliburton is not having a legendary final so far. The Mavs and Cooper Flagg make a little bit of news, and we'll talk about the Kings and the draft, or lack thereof. We'll do that next.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here again. Over the years, I've seen way too many timeshare exit companies pop up, take folks' money, and disappear. I just saw an ad from an exit company started by a couple of bozos that used to work for me. My advice, don't hire bozos I'll fire. Want out of your timeshare? I'll send you our free timeshare exit info kit explaining your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free kit. 800-329-3737. That's 800-329-3737.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sacktown Sports 1140. 3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
Tom Morton's going to join us live from Oakmont. His little baby preview of the U.S. Open coming up at 7:28. Zach Polo is his student and will be in the U.S. Open. Hey, welcome into the PGA Amateur. Here's the toughest course, some say, ever.
Go win.
Go win.
Tin Cup.
I wonder if that's obviously on the surface, it's a huge disadvantage. Like, you're an amateur, you're going to be nervous as hell. You're going to the U.S. Open. Obviously, he wants to win, but at the same time, it's like, dude, just even if he made the cut, that would be insane. But I wonder if a setup like this is like, well, you know what? If you were ever going to do something, it's so crazy. Anyone could, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I wonder, maybe this is an easy question, but do you think it's more difficult? The actual course, which is going to be difficult for even the best of the best, or just the fact that you are playing with the tour best people and like the crowds, like there's a couple things he's going to be dealing with.
You're talking about the mental versus the skill.
Yeah,
which is the
but
bigger challenge. Yeah,
the mental in this case, like how do you not get? Hey, that's Rory and that's Bryson. And that's, I'm here, and I'm one of them,
either I'm here and I'm one of them, or I wonder, and we'll ask Tom about this, because Tom has always been a huge, and I've taken a ton of lessons from Tom, and I joke about it all the time, but I'm not a great golfer, but he has improved my game so much, and he is huge on the mental aspect of the game. I played 9 holes with him once, and it was all about. He was just telling me he was playing too, but every single time he'd be like, all right, let's look at the shot this way. Here's what you want. And I shot the best 9 consistently I ever, and it wasn't because I was hitting the ball better than it was little things like I'm 110 yards out, second shot on a par 4, and he goes, okay, what are you planning here? And, it's a middle flag, white flag, left side of the green, kind of a wide green, if you will, left side. There's a bunker protecting it. And I say, well, honestly, there's a slope on the back of the green. I'm going to try to hit it. It's 110. It's about 115 to the back or 120 to the back. I'm going to club up just a little bit and soft it up there. I'm going to try to hit that back slope, bring it down. He goes, nope, wrong. What do you mean wrong? He goes, what are your chances of making that shot? Like you're not a pro. What are your chances? He goes, no, I don't care where the flag is. Aim for the middle of the green. You might miss it and land. You might miss it to the left and you're right at the hole. But bottom line is give yourself the most room to protect your misses. I'm like, that makes so much sense. And now it's like I aim for I don't care where I'm at unless I'm chipping. Little tiny things like that, backing off of your shot, visualizing what you want to do. No, this is exactly what I want to do. You're not going to do it half the time, not at our level, but just little things like that. So it'll be interesting to talk to Tom about, a guy like Zach, who obviously
can do the shots.
Who can do these shots. Exactly. All right. 3 for Madness. Anthony in for Chris. Question 1.
Tyrese Halliburton is shooting 20% with only 4 assists when guarded by Lou Dort. Is this more Dort than Tyrese?
We said before the series even started that nobody in the NBA has more success against Tyrese Halliburton than Lou Dort. Now, this is Tyrese Halliburton's first finals. He's still relatively young and trying to figure things out. He's had in and out issues before. I expect him to have a really good game in game 3. I don't know what a really good game is against Lou Dort, who is not only one of the best defenders in the entire game, but really defends Tyrese Halliburton well. I think if I had to choose one, I think it's more Lou Dort. Yeah. I think he's just that good, and he understands that if he can, even if he doesn't neutralize Tyrese Halliburton, if he can minimize Tyrese Halliburton, they're going to win the series.
Yeah, I think, in these questions, it's always the answer is probably a little bit of both, right? But I agree with you. I think if you're picking one, I think it's more about Dort, because I think Tyrese inherently is, as a point guard, is kind of a pass first, get everybody involved point guard. He is generally not a selfish offensive player, a super aggressive offensive player.
Sure.
And so when this team needs him to be that, it's just not as much in his DNA. And then, okay, we need you to do that. It's really difficult against a guy that's physical like Dort. Yeah. He can move with him, has the foot speed, beats Tyrese to his spot sometimes. I think this is about Dort more so than Tyrese.
Looking at Tyrese Halliburton, this small sample size, but I'm looking at his numbers versus the Knicks as opposed to the Thunder. And again, 2 games, but he averaged 21 points against the Knicks to 15.5 right now. The one that really stands out, 10.5 assists to 6. 6 to 6.5. He's actually averaging a half a board more. Has not been to the free throw line in the finals.
Wow.
He went, and not that he's a big free throw guy, but he averaged 4 free throw attempts a game. But maybe even more, Jason, than the 4.5 assists so far he's down, which, by the way, you would think if Lou Dort's up in his grill, that assist number might go up because he's trying to involve everybody else. Tyrese Halliburton against the Knicks averaged 1.7 turnovers a game. Against the Cavs, 2 turnovers a game, 2.2 against Milwaukee. He's averaging 4 turnovers a game versus Oklahoma City.
That's a high number for him.
So really high number for him. This is a guy that has had some games. I mean, we talked about it. What was the one? 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, zero turnovers in game 4 versus the Knicks.
And let's even remember game 1. I think one of the good strategies Carlisle had was taking him off the ball more. Nembhard started initiating the offense. So that turnover number is, I think, even high with him having the ball less.
You're right. So he has the ball less. You'd think he'd be distributing more. His assists are down 4.5.
turnovers are
His turnovers are up, and his usage rate, as you just said,
not scoring.
is exactly that.
Dort.
Yeah, and obviously hat tip to the scheme and hat tip to the help, hat tip to the people when Dort is screen picking up. But yeah, it all starts with Lou Dort.
And what a difference too, like when they're playing the Knicks, and look, there's different defenders on the Knicks that are really good between OG and Bridges and Hart, let's say, but they would get switches to get Brunson on him.
Yes.
Or get Towns on him.
Yes.
Oh no, Caruso's on me. Oh, Dort. Oh. Like there's just more options for OKC to throw at him defensively.
True or false? Whereas Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the most important piece for the Oklahoma City Thunder, Lou Dort is the second most important piece in this series.
Well, might be true. It's a hard one to decide. Yeah, it might be true.
Question 2.
Question 2.
The Mavs are working out Cooper Flagg in a couple weeks and have signaled that they're absolutely drafting him. Is this the right move?
I don't know, man. I also, it's very difficult to make that to make that statement too, because we talked about before the timeline that they're on right now with Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis is not it doesn't seem conducive to an 18-year-old Cooper Flagg. Now, if their decision internally is we're going to draft Cooper Flagg and we're going to move Kyrie Irving and we're going to move Anthony Davis and we're going to punt on the next couple of years, we're going to surround him with guys that can play off of his weaknesses, of course, and fit in, but as well as fit that timeline a little bit more. Okay, I get it. You're trying to go Dirk 2.0 and let's do it. I just don't know if drafting Flagg instead of trading him for the haul. You and I talked about it before. If you can get Giannis Antetokounmpo for him, which I think they could, I don't think it's the right move if they're going to hold on to Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving.
As you said that, I was thinking about timelines, and it's always hard to define, but could this be anything, and maybe this is too far of a stretch, so tell me, akin to, hey, we've got David Robinson already, we've got whatever they had, Sean Elliott and blah, 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 and then here comes Tim Duncan, who's clear-cut number one. They know he could be a big part of the future, but, like, they were already pretty good.
Yeah.
And then they got this young guy that helped them become really good and then kept this longer, lengthy timeline of being champion-esque. And so I don't think if you take Flagg, I don't think you're punting on the thought of, hey, we still have AD and Kyrie. Like I think they believe they'll still be really good, and you've got a nice young piece, and then maybe the extension of the time period, if he's as good as people think he'll be, is then maybe you could be this team that's in the race for 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch because they were a play-in team this year.
Sure.
But in fairness to them, what did they have AD and Kyrie for? Like 10 minutes? I mean, they, you know.
Yeah.
So, but with all that being said, I think they have to look at all the options.
I agree with you.
Like, I don't think taking Flagg's a bad idea by any means. But if you could get Giannis, Katie, whatever they're looking for, I think they can, because they now have the number one pick, which they didn't have in their spot. Now it's exciting to take the one, draft control, to have the young guy. I mean, there's lots of reasons to take him. But what a luxury. They're in a great position that I think they need to explore every single option and really debate what's the right choice.
It's actually an interesting thing you brought up because you mentioned a couple people taking out, monster 10 first round draft pick trade, just. Is there another realistic name other than Giannis that you would trade Cooper Flagg for? And Wemby is not realistic. I don't think Jokic is realistic. You mentioned KD. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't either. I'm just through.
Yeah. But that got me thinking. Yeah. I just don't know.
I think Booker's been mentioned before as a link.
Do you trade Cooper Flagg for Devin Booker?
I don't know.
I don't. Giannis is Giannis.
That's why this is look, we're doing this on the radio, but like this is, and Nico's already, public enemy number one in Dallas.
Sure.
But like, if this is your job And I think there's a lot of winning lanes there where
Sure.
you go, taking flag, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's also a lot of losing lanes.
Yeah.
In retrospect.
But if you got it wrong somehow when they're not, I mean, I think if you took Cooper Flag and he was a bust, I don't know that you get killed for that because
I don't. I think you'd be killed for the Luka Doncic thing forever, which
Right.
he still might. But look, they get Cooper Flag, they win a championship, and say, then they're okay, whatever.
Yeah. But if you trade Cooper Flag and got, man, I think right now, if they somehow got Giannis today in a Cooper Flag and whatever deal, and you still had AD and Kyrie, people are talking about them as true competitors with
100%.
OKC.
I don't think Cooper Flag, Kyrie Irving, and Anthony Davis get past the Thunder.
They may not. Yeah.
And I think if the whole goal is to win a championship, we've said this before, Cooper Flag's ceiling might be, and they're not that comparable. Let's say Cooper Flag's ceiling is Giannis Antetokounmpo. If you have a chance to actually get Giannis, it's like, well, what's behind door number one? It could be this, but the thing behind door number one is standing in front of you right now. And the odds, as you and I talked about before, of Cooper Flag having a better career than Giannis Antetokounmpo are I don't want to say minuscule, but they're very small because it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. And how many times we talked about it before, whether it's a Zion Williamson, whether we've had picks in the past that were can't miss picks,
right?
And I don't know. By the way, speaking of Devin Booker, he's expected to sign a 2-year extension with the Suns this offseason, making him at least under contract through 2030. He will make, as part of his older deal, $53 million this year, $57 next year, $61 the year after, and then with this extension in 28-29, he will make $74.7 million. In 29-30, he will make $75.1. He will be signed for the next 5-6 years for a total of $321 million.
Already, weren't they the number one payroll team? And they didn't make the playoffs?
And they did not make the playoffs. And I'm just, I don't look, I really don't have any crazy issues with Devin Booker is a wonderful player. He's 28. He's still got at least 4, 5, 6 years of prime, at least. I don't know, man. He's a great player. I just don't know about a $75 million a year player. And I'm not saying like that from the point of $75 million to no, people are going to make that's market rate.
Yeah.
He's worth that. But I don't know. In the NBA, is Devin Booker a top 10 player?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
He's really close.
I think he's right there. I don't think he's top 10. Yeah.
I mean, in this list that we had the other day, you said Halliburton was listed at 7.
Yeah, which I don't buy.
I think that's too high.
Yes.
But and when you really start to do it, like if you start just quickly, like SGA, Giannis and Joker, if like we put them as a top 3, then I still think you have to do a hat tip somewhere to Steph, LeBron,
KD,
Luka, Tatum, I mean,
Tatum, Jaylen Brown. I'd rather have Jaylen Brown. Well, that's actually a good conversation.
Yeah,
honestly, Jaylen Brown versus Devin Booker is actually a fun combo.
And then of course Keegan Murray, top 10.
Wow, Jonas Valanciunas on line 3, but okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
all the Kings are in the top 10.
Okay, all right. Number 3, please.
Question 3.
Do the Kings need to grab a first rounder in this draft?
I mean, need is a loaded word. Kings need to do a lot of things, but we're talking about how this draft is going to feature second rounders for the Kings or a second rounder, but other teams know the Kings don't have a first round pick, and the Kings really need to. Look, just getting past all the anger I have at the franchise right now, just speaking pragmatically, I saw, Vivek put up a tweet yesterday, It was just like a motivational thing, or something. It was very benign. It was, it was something like never give up, don't ever give up, any of that. And it was deleted within, I don't know if it was because I
were people crushing him for
just,
it.
And
he can't post anything.
It wasn't like most people were crushing him. It wasn't like I went down the entire list of comments until I just got tired. And 100% of them were brutal.
And that's a motivational thing. Hey, everybody, have a great day.
Yes.
You know what?
Yeah.
Shouldn't have made this trade or blah, blah, blah.
It was don't ever give up. And about, I would say 50% of the comments underneath were some form of, we wish you'd give up owning the Kings.
Wow.
And then it went on from there. And look, I get it. I get the vitriol. And
such a fun place, social media.
But I had a conversation with some folk over the weekend. And they're not, they don't do this for a living, and they're not season ticket holders, and they're not hardcore every day. Oh my God, Kings fans. But, the question was asked, and I know we've broached this before, but is this the lowest the fan base has been? I'm talking about on the court stuff. Because I started thinking, I'm like, well, hold on a second. The Kings were in the play-in last year. And on top of them being in the play-in last year, they were in the playoffs the year before. Or the year 2 years ago, playing again last year. They've had 3 consecutive postseason berths, if you want to call it that. And by the way, they won 40 games.
Yeah.
There were so many years where they were in the 20s. They win 32. They sometimes in the high teens. But it just seems more toxic this summer.
Yeah, and I think there's probably a deeper dive into what social media means to the world now.
Yeah.
Like the equivalent to our version of social media 20 years ago would be phone calls.
Yes.
Would be newspaper comment section.
Right. That's right.
A few chat boards started to surface, chat rooms and forums.
Mm-hmm.
So now more and more people have a voice. Now you're anonymous on the keyboard. Again, you can have this voice. And that's not even the point.
Sure.
It's just there's a lot of people doing it, and it kind of snowballs. And if someone says, hey, this is the worst team I've ever seen. No, this, it's just people can keep going on that. So it's really hard to measure, but in the day and age of social media, it feels like it's pretty down.
I came to the conclusion that this is the worst it's ever been. Forget about social media, and I agree with you. But here's why. Because on the surface, it's like, there's no way this is the worst. Here's what makes it the worst, I think. Number one, cumulative disappointment. Okay, it may not be fair, but this isn't just about this year. This is about the last 10, 20, 40 years. So let's start with a foundation. I'm just making my own little drawing, everybody. Foundation of cumulative disappointment. We'll call that CD, not Carmichael Dave. And then on top of that, you have they're not good. They're not bad, by the
in that weird spot.
They're not good. They're in that, But then I think at the second from the top is that they were good.
Yeah, I think they had a peak season for the newer fans, and for the fans from 20 years ago, it was like, this is kind of what it was like. We're back here again.
That's right. People were gearing up. You
pleased a lot of people.
That's right.
And that run was incredibly short.
If you and I were sitting on one of these little blue old Arco Arena chairs, and every April we just kind of leaned forward and fell on the floor, it's annoying, and maybe we skin a knee, or I don't know, whatever the hell, get a little Charlie horse, but we're fine. I think part of it is now we go up to the roof and we slide forward off of that, and we hit the driveway. The higher you are, the further there is to fall emotionally. So I think that is part of the reason. So we have a foundation of continuous cumulative disappointment. The next level, and you could switch these around, is that they're not good. The next level is that they were good, The next level after that is, you could call it either hopelessness or purgatory.
That's what I was going to say, somewhere either in the not good or I feel like this one, my feeling is there is less hope.
Yes.
I think there's always hope, but there's less of it where I think the hope might have fallen in line like, hey, Fox, Sabonis, Murray, you know, this core, you got coach of the year, GM. I feel like it's lined up.
Right.
But a lot of that has been broken up.
That's right.
And so if you feel like you're in the not good, not bad range, cumulative disappointment, had a peak 2 years ago and it's going kind of the other way, where is the hope?
That's the problem, is that you said there is always hope. Because, and
I mean, just in a blanket statement, there's always hope. There's always doom. Like there's always that.
Right.
But
it's tough.
And then you also, I think another sidebar for fans too seems to be, all right, we watched the Warriors do their thing for a while. LeBron, get it. These are but now it's like, oh no, here's Houston and here's OKC. And I think the Spurs are coming along here.
And that's where we get to, I think, the final level or top level of the Kings failure pyramid, or should I say the fan base devastation pyramid. And that would be, you could call it either shame or embarrassment, because on top of all of that foundational failure underneath us, you had Luka Doncic in the finals last year. You have Tyrese Halliburton getting crowned as one of the next faces of the NBA this year. And in the back of everybody's head, whether they want to admit it or not, very much on the radar are Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox. And each are a little bit different. You know, we never had Luka, even though we passed on him. We never had him. We never saw him in a Kings uniform. We had Tyrese Halliburton. For some people, that's what makes it hurt the most. And then Tyrese's exit from the Kings, a lot different from Fox's exit from the Kings.
Yeah.
So real quick, let's go to Ashley. Ashley, good morning. Welcome in.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing okay, but as far as what you were talking about, as far as like, is this the lowest Kings fans have been? In a way, I think it is. And part of the reason for me is we had so much hope, so much expectations after that Dream Team season. And to only have that 1 year of true success, because I don't think that a lot of the Kings fans look at going to the play-in as success. I think that if one of the 2 years, this year or last, we could have made the playoffs, I think that we'd be doing a bit better as a fan base. But I think that a lot of us are fearing that we're going to go back to the basement like we were, based off of losing guys like Halliburton and where he is, now losing Fox, and having these rumblings of potentially losing either Sabonis or DeRozan or something like that, you know?
Well, and thank you, Ashley. We got a break. The funny thing is, no disrespect to Sabonis, who I love, but when you talk about losing Halliburton, losing Fox, what my fear is that this team will double down on their dumb mistakes from the past, and they'll say, well, we did this with Halliburton, we did this with Fox. We probably shouldn't do this with Sabonis and DeRozan, when in fact that's probably who you should have done it with. Don't let that prevent you from, they're not the same.
Right.
I love Sabonis, but Sabonis and DeRozan to a far lesser extent than some. That is not Fox and Halliburton. You're talking about two totally different caliber of player, youth. Anyways, we'll take a break. Tom Morton, head pro, Hagen Oaks, is out at Oakmont right now. He's going to join us ahead of Zach Polo, who is from Rockland, competing in the U.S. Open, which tees off Thursday. He's going to give us an update on Oakmont, what Zach's going through. We'll do that next.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
At SMUD, we power local business with incentives on clean energy equipment, tools to manage electricity usage and save money, tailored solutions from dedicated strategic account advisors, and 50% lower rates than neighboring utilities, all while doing more for the planet with clean energy solutions, savings, reliability, personalized service, clean energy, helping local businesses thrive. That's our clean power promise. Learn more at smud.org.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back. Tom Morton will join us here in seconds. Where is Oakmont?
It's in
Pennsylvania.
Oakmont,
Pennsylvania. Joining us right now. He's a guy over at Hagen Oaks. The Morton Foundation does so much great stuff for charity and the accessibility of the game of golf. Also, I shouldn't say this publicly, but teaches me and also others with talent.
Maybe you'll be in the U.S. Open in the future.
Maybe U.S. Open for old broken down sports hosts. He also head coach of the Sacramento Kings, Doug Christie, has gone to him for many a lesson. Bobby Jackson, and a guy named Zach Polo, who is from Rockland, currently attends the University of Arizona. And I got a call from Tom. I said on the show yesterday or Monday. Yesterday was Monday. I got a call from Tom Sunday saying, hey, guess what? This kid qualified for the U.S. Open. I'm getting on a plane tomorrow. I'm going to caddy for him. What an amazing experience for both of them. And Tom joins us right now. Tom, it's Dave and Jason. Good morning, brother.
Morning, guys. How are you?
We're good.
Yeah. How are you?
How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. This is, as you guys are alluding to, quite the experience for both Zach and myself. And yesterday was kind of getting checked in, dialed in, went to the King trailer, got his clubs all spec'd out and dialed in, and threw a couple extra clubs in there to test out. But, it's a different world out here.
Yeah, going into this, Tom, for you on your side of things, because I know we'll ask about Zach, what's your priority? What's feel like your number one job as being the caddy this week?
It's just to be here for Zach, certainly as his coach and now his caddy. It's to be here for any need that he has and make sure that this experience is as simple as possible for him so that his focus is solely on playing the game and, doing the very best he can, because clearly, I can't even imagine doing this as a 20-year-old, let alone 50-year-old I am now. But just the ability to, settle in and kind of look around when you see, I'm literally looking at the putting green and I see Rory McIlroy and Keegan Bradley and you name it. And it's, just to get focused and get in your own world.
Tom, kind of piggybacking on Jason's question, you've played in pro tournaments. You played in the Reno Tahoe Open, I think about 3 years ago. And that was amazing for you and all your friends. Now you're assisting one of your students in trying to have the best experience he can. What is the difference in nerves for you between playing and being here for your guy, but ultimately you can advise, but it's not your control. It's all him.
Yeah, definitely very different for sure, right? I mean, I want this more for him than I certainly did playing well myself at the other event. This matters a heck of a lot more to me. And, because this young man really does have a chance to do this for a living. And this is his first experience to really see what that's all about at the very, very highest level. I mean, imagine that, your very first tour of the U.S. Open at Oakmont of all places.
Yeah.
And I think about it like when I think about U.S. Opens over the year, and we've already seen some of the footage of just how brutal the rough is. How do you balance, the confidence you want to put in Zach, but like, hey, logically, you got to stay out of the rough. But if you get in the rough, you got to figure out how you get out of the rough. Like that, Tom, is going to be a danger spot for every single one, and whether it's an amateur or a pro out there. How do you kind of navigate that confidence in him about, all right, we might have gotten some trouble here, but let's work our way out of this trouble?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the same for everyone, clearly. And they did get quite a bit of rain here Sunday night, so the fairways are fairly soft as of now. Now it's supposed to be pretty nice for a few days, so they'll dry up a bit. So, that really makes the fairways a little bit larger because the ball's not rolling out. But that being said, it also makes the rough that much worse because it is a little wet. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. So, you're going to hit it in the rough, and you're going to have to just take those penalties, so to speak. And, I think our job in the practice rounds are to map out where the best place is to then sort of, wedge out and get into a place where you're attempting to then, hit it close to the hole with a wedge or something to make par and save par. And I think you're going to see that a lot this week. I think the person that can sort of do that and save some of those pars is going to have the best chance to win.
Tom Morton joining us at pro over at Hagen Oaks, teacher to the stars, if you will, and caddying for our very own Zach Polo this weekend at Oakmont at the U.S. Open. All right, I want to ask some Dave questions here because part of this fascinates me. So I don't know what I don't know, Tom, so I don't think I'm asking anything that's a trade secret, but of course, if I am, just tell me to shoosh. I'm fascinated, and I was thinking about this with you coming on, and it was really hard for me, by the way, not to call you and ask you this off the air. From the moment you told me Sunday, I started thinking, okay, as a caddy, right, just from a caddy's point of view, I just want to go down a quick list. Number one, am I correct in assuming that the big pro bags and everything with it is a lot heavier than like the bags you and I would carry? Like there's actually a physical part of this for you?
There is no doubt about that. Okay. Oakmont's a very challenging place to walk around without throwing a 40-pound bag on yourself. But, it's really great. You show up, he gets this locker room. And by the way, like Scotty Scheffler's like a couple lockers away based on just last names. And there's this big box there, and we unbox it, and there's this big, beautiful King USA, United States Open bag that a lot of the tour players are using with his name on it. And so immediately he wanted to transfer into that rather than using his nice lightweight college bag. So we did that. And, it's great. And it's just, but you got to carry, you got your umbrella in there, you got all sorts of other gear. And then yesterday it was funny because he was testing out a few clubs to decide which ones he wants to use. I think there was literally 20 golf clubs in the bag. So it weighed a bit yesterday.
Okay. So that's where I was going next. So like you have all the clubs he wants to use. You have some that he, that he wants to see if he wants to use. You only have so many in the bag, but then you're all the way out in Pennsylvania. So like, he God forbid, but he snaps a driver, he snaps do you have to bring like a bunch of backup clubs, or are they there already? Do they get shipped there? How does that work?
Yeah. So on site at most tour events, and certainly at a US Open for sure, there's just alongside the street near the driving range, there's a line of all the tour vans. And so, he's a Ping guy, and that's why I said we went there yesterday, and they spec'd out all his clubs, regripped a couple, and even made a couple different wedges for him to test out based on the turf conditions out here. And certainly if anything happens to a golf club, literally within 10 to 15 minutes, you would have a brand new one. You could just go tee up.
Okay, and then lastly, and again, I don't know if this is a secret or not, but I'm curious as to the ball he's going to play. And then I know you can only carry like so many in the bag, right? But do you like, I can't imagine you're like going to Golf Galaxy and buying the balls. Am I correct that like there's just, let's say he's playing Pro Vs, there's just a Pro V van there and you go grab a bunch of boxes and keep them in the lot? Like, how does that work?
So they already know going in that, the companies that he plays, like I said, you got Ping, you have Titleist. I think he's if I check, he's a FootJoy glove guy.
Okay.
And so literally when you get to the locker, you crack open your locker, everything's already in there. Wow. There's 3 or 4 dozen balls sitting in there. There's a new pack of gloves sitting in there. There even was his favorite drink sitting in there that somehow they knew that he liked. And so all the gear you need is here and ready to go.
Tom, you're talking about the practice rounds. How valuable is that for you and him? Just that intel you're talking about, where to miss, where to lay up, is that really truly where you're getting all your information? So before you get going on Thursday, you're as dialed in as possible?
100%. I think there's 2 things going on. There's certainly that where we're getting used to the golf course. We're also, for him, I found this funny. So, in the couple 3 holes, he looks at me and goes, are you pretty good at figuring out yardages? Because normally, right, young people, his entire life he's been able to have a point and shoot kind of unit to find yardage. Well, you can't use that during the event, so you get these yardage books. And I laughed and I said, "Hey, Zach, this is how I grew up playing golf." Wow. So I'm pretty good at this. But anyway, we're figuring out the course, figuring out what we want to do, and that's one side of it. The other side, to be honest, is it's such a, certainly not in a bad way, but it's such a circus going on around with, all the crowd and the people around the putting green, the range, the chipping areas, and everywhere you turn, there's media and stuff. When you get inside the ropes and on the golf course, it's our chance to sort of really just be sort of in that quiet, in that place where we can really focus on golf. And I think that's really helpful.
I'm curious now about that. So yeah, the yardages. So you have your yardage book and you have all that, but of course you're making notes. Like as you're walking the course today, yesterday, for example, like could you bring like a little Callaway point and shoot or a Bushnell point and shoot and make a note in there that like, okay, from the bushy Christmas tree on 7 on the right, that's 125 yards. I don't imagine. Do they have markers in the fairway for a course like that? Like what are the rules there?
They do. We have, they're all the same markers you'd have when you play, the golf course are still here and whatnot, but and then in the practice round, we certainly can use the point and shoot to get anything that we need to mark down. But obviously during the tournament, we are not allowed to use it.
Interesting. What about, I'm going back
Sorry if it's getting noisy. Rory just walked by me, so a lot of the kids are yelling Rory.
That's completely okay. That's great noise. When my other question about caddying too is, what about like food and water and stuff? Like are you packing in? I'm sure every player is different, but for example, are you like making sure to pack like 2 bananas, 2 bottled waters, and like a couple of Cliff bars or whatever? Like, does a caddy also have to do that?
No doubt, whatever he needs. Now, there is on every single tee box, there is ice chest full of water. And there's a couple here and there. There's some snacks and stuff for the players, but whatever stuff that Zach really likes, we're going to throw it in the bag and make sure we have it for him.
How about, we were talking about this earlier, Tom, the mental part of all of this, that I'm sure there's a fine line of, hey, look, enjoy this. This is awesome. Take it all in, but also, like you just said, hey, Rory may walk by or Scotty Scheffler's near your locker. Like, there's some oohs and ahs and some, oh my gosh, I'm here moments. How do you want Zach to kind of, and you to handle kind of the awesomeness of the event, but also not to be overwhelmed by the awesomeness of the event?
Yeah, I said to him the moment we kind of got here and we went out on the driving range and you're looking around and you're seeing all of this. And, we were, again, chipping next to Justin Thomas, hitting bunker shots next to Brooks Koepka. I mean, it's really hilarious in that regard. But, what I said to him early on is, I said, Zach, let's look around, right? All these players that are here, you're going to see some of the most amazing players in the world, people that you've certainly idolized as golfers. I said, just, you know what? They're thinking the same thing about you. You're here. You're a U.S. Open golfer. You've earned the right to be here, and you need to believe in that and trust in that. And, let's go, right? Let's leave all that behind and let's get to work.
Yeah, and I see the pairings. Who's he with? Ryan McCormick, Trevor Cohn, and Zach. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Just seeing those other guys, and are you going to just focus in on his game and not really get caught up in how the others are doing? How do you handle that too?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I mean, you just kind of get in your own world and you focus on yourself because that's all you can do. You can't control what other people are doing or how they're playing or hitting it. And so we just have to control what we do.
Yeah. Is that kind of no offense to Ryan or Trevor at all, but it's not Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy. Is that kind of a good break? Like, I mean, just from your perspective, I don't know what Zach would prefer, but from your perspective, either as a caddy or as a player, Tom, would you rather be in a grouping like that where the crowd, you're going to have, I would imagine, a decently less gallery than a Rory or a Scotty, and then also you're not going, oh my God, Rory McIlroy is watching me tee off. Is that kind of a break for him? With, again, no disrespect to the other guys.
I would sure think in terms of how he'll play, it will be a little easier for sure. So in that, I think, like I said, in that regard, it's a break. But at the same time, I mean, what a gift that would be if you get paired with someone like that, to just be able to watch them and see how they play and how they go about things. So, I mean, there's two sides of it for sure, but and probably how he'll play, I think it probably is a good break.
And also, just to piggyback off Jason, so if I'm reading this right, third to last group going out on Thursday, starting on the 10T Thursday, and then at 1 on Friday. On Thursday, you go out at 2:20. That's Eastern time, of course. You're the third to last group going, so there's going to be everybody's going to be in front of you. There might be a little bit more waiting, but also, Tom, is that an advantage? I know the weather. Let's take weather out of the equation, difference from morning to afternoon, because that's a whole different thing. But is it an advantage to go later? Are you guys sitting in the locker room before you go out to the range and putting? Are you able? You're watching the other players and how they're dealing with it. How would you rather go third to last, or would you rather go third?
No, I think he was very happy with the timing of his pairings, and I heard something on the Golf Channel this morning before we came out that, again, to the point of it being an advantage, that most winners actually go late then early.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh. Do you have, I mean, whether you want to share it or not, do you personally have any goals for this weekend or this? You put anything out there on this that you think you want to get out of this?
Like I said, I think for, me personally, it's really a chance to spend amazing amount of time and in such, really crazy bubble, so to speak, with one of my really the best playing student I've ever helped. And so us to really gain this experience together and know where the needs are going to be for him moving forward so that he can be doing this full time. And I know for him, his goal certainly, singularly, if we could make the cut here, which he could, to be honest, I mean, that would be, it's possible. Wow. This young man is a really, really, really amazing player. And distance wise, he hits it. I mean, we were out there yesterday, he's hitting it further than both the guys he played with. He carries it 310, 320. I mean, that part of his game is really solid. It's possible. It just kind of, we got to navigate it and see where things fall.
Dave was taken back by that, Tom. So
yeah.
Just at least tell Dave he was the second best client.
Can I just say this, Tom? Last week, last Friday, I was playing in the Easter Seals golf tournament, and we tied for first. And nice. Somebody here. Oh wait, it was me. Got the long drive in closest to the pin. And can I just say, with no disrespect to Zach, but we tied for first. I got $50 in winnings, which I believe I have higher career earnings.
You're a professional.
I'm a professional, had more career earnings than the guy you got at the U.S. Open this weekend. So, look, I'm fine. I'm not offended by it, but I just, maybe think about that statement a little more.
I'll noodle on it while I'm at it.
All right. Lastly, obviously, teaching a ding-dong like me, hey, this is your swing plane. This is I want you to go on this angle. The great tip that I'm still living off of that we did last time, where I'm driving down on the ball, especially with my irons, trying to hit in front of the ball, if you will, which is probably this. Jason, it's the single greatest lesson I've ever experienced when it comes to actually the difference in my irons on the course. That being said, you're probably not sitting there with Zach at the driving range going, okay, you're going to want to, you're not doing the ABCs of golf with him. But, and this is a long preamble, I was telling Jason earlier, one of my favorite lessons with you was when we went out and we played, and you are going through the mental aspect, the preparation, the rehearsals, and then most importantly, your lesson about aiming for the middle of the green, stop trying to hit the pin, the mental aspects of the game. How much of that factors into your teachings with Zach?
At this point, that's huge. I mean, I've been teaching Zach since he's been about 12-ish years old, and so we know one another. I know his move, and he, certainly you can occasionally fall into, the little tiny things he'll do here and there, whether it's a ball position thing or a setup thing, and so those things are quick to be able to change. So you're monitoring those, but clearly he doesn't need any huge changes. I mean, he qualified for the U.S. Open. He swings it really incredibly well. So it is mostly about, kind of your, quote unquote, the mental game, but kind of how we're doing internally, what we're doing, managing the golf course, and all those sort of other factors that have nothing to do with swinging a club.
Well, look, dude, we're obviously we're super stoked for Zach, and we'll be watching him, and we have realistic expectations or lack thereof. It's the experience. It's an honor to be there, but also you never know, and hopefully he just plays his best, and whatever happens. At the same time, I'm so tickled for you, Tom. This is I can tell how proud you are, and it's much different than when you're playing, as you mentioned. And I just hope you have a great time out there. I'm looking forward to. Well, now you're on the course, so probably less pictures and videos, but just looking forward to you both having a great time out there.
Well, I appreciate having me on, and all the support from myself and Zach, and we're going to do our best.
Yeah, well, we'll be following you, brother. Take care. Look forward to talking to you later in the week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It's Tom Morton. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. Even if you're not a golf person, just, oh my God, the pressure. Just the absolute pressure of dealing with that. I cannot imagine, I have found if in dealing with golfers at a professional level, 98% of them, if not 99, have this sense of zen to them. This sense of you actually would be really good if you were a pro golfer at the mental aspect. I think that's one of your biggest strengths. You don't get too high. You don't get too low. You don't lose your temper. I, on the other hand, would be a disaster. 100%. I would be the first guy to just kill some poor spectator with a 7-iron. A flying 7-iron. I wouldn't beat them with it. Right. I would just to be clear. But I can't imagine. Imagine tomorrow. This kid puts his head on the pillow. Now, thank God it's tea time's late in the afternoon, but still, this is your last sleep beforehand. How the hell do you fall asleep? How do you fall asleep the day before you're about to compete in the U.S. Open and you're 2 lockers down from Scotty Scheffler?
Yeah, I think you're wrestling. I mean, I don't know this for certain, but this is my belief. You're wrestling the demons of thinking, I belong here too. Do I belong here? I'm so excited. I could win to, am I going to miss the cut? You got to be going every which way. And oh my gosh, there's Rory to, I'm out here with Rory. Okay, if I play my game, do my shots, I can hit far, all the stuff Tom said, I'll stay out of trouble on this hole. And then you got to go, golf's just cruel. You can have all the right plan. They're all going to have the right plan. It's just, can you execute?
I wonder. Hold on. Hey, Anthony, what do you want to do here? You want to do we want to just go to 54 and okay. All right. I would like to talk to Zach after and say, realistic, dude, what were your goals? Yeah. Honestly, was it, dude, I'm out here to win. Okay. That's number one. Number two, I just want to make the cut and see what happens. That would be my first,
sure. And then if you get there, then you're like, hey, I'm one of the last, 50 or whatever it is. And let's go. And where are you on the leaderboard?
Or maybe a third option, which would be
highest amateur.
Honestly, the only goal I set is to stay within myself, play to the best of my ability. And then wherever it shook out. Whether I won the thing, whether I made the cut, whether I was the high amateur, my goal was simply to not get distracted, to not get overwhelmed, and play the best possible golf I could play and let the chip. And I feel like it's going to be somewhere around 2 or 3. Because for you and me, we would be setting specific goals. Yeah. But I could also see a good golfer saying, "Oh man, I just want to play my best game."
Right.
And if I miss the cut playing my best game, then I missed the cut, and I'm not going to worry about it. I just know I got to do better. I got to improve.
Yeah. And again, totally different. We're not anywhere near that, or anybody that's listening that plays golf that just, plays every once in a while. I have found, like, if I put a target out there for a goal, that's kind of dangerous for me. I go, I want to break this score, or get 2 birdies, or par this, just whatever and then I just find that I don't do as well. I think if you the times I've gone out and played, and sometimes you go, hey, I actually think I've got a pretty good score going. And then when you know what your score is, then sometimes I'm like, oh, wow, if I, par out with maybe, or just get 2 bogeys the rest of the way, I'm going to have my best round. And then all of a sudden there's a triple bogey. And you're like, I wasn't even thinking about my score before that. That's me.
It is interesting how you define your goals.
Yeah.
Mine is generally don't shank your 3-wood.
That's the other part of it. Like, I don't know how you feel like in a tournament, if like, you're playing with the same group of people, but then like if another foursome catches up, or maybe there's 2 and you're like, oh man, there's a lot of people watching me tee off. I don't like this. Imagine that you're on TV, you got all the people watching it, and obviously you're good, but man.
Piece of muck. That's what I would be happy Gilmore, but without the talent. We'll take a break. When we come back, top of the hour, guest after guest. Kevin Engel's going to join us on the morning of the big stadium vote this afternoon. We'll talk to him about that, the Republic as well, before we get to, we will get to the second half of the program, including a look back at the 2020 draft, who's hot, who's not, and so much more. We'll do that next.
Visit SacktownSports.com and join the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes the Pizza Lover Starter Kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
We get it. Tariffs are tough. Power tools are getting expensive. But at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, we're solving that problem for 2 short days on June 20th and June 21st. We're putting all Milwaukee power tools on massive discounts. Tons of Milwaukee batteries and bare tools for less than $100. 25% off all regular price Milwaukee pack-out boxes and much, much more. So stop by Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento on June 20th and 21st for some of the lowest prices on tools you'll ever see this year. To see all of what's on sale, visit FastenersInc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more. And then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger, Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's, and My Lowe's Pro Rewards members can save even more with limited time deals. Right now, buy one, get one half off. Select HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Primer and Ceiling Paint. Plus, get free same-day delivery to your job site when you order by 2 p.m. Offer valid through 6/13. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
If there's one thing we know about dads, it's that they're not easy to shop for. Enter Kohl's. They've got everything from Nike golf gear to his favorite Levi's jeans. And you can save 20% on other finds like Flex Athleisure and Izod workwear. So if you're not sure what to get dad for Father's Day, you know where to go. Shop Kohl's now. Select styles. Offer ends June 15th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons do not apply to Nike and Levi's. See store at Kohl's.com for details.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
All right, Mayor Kevin McCarty joined us yesterday at 8. Former Mayor Dale Steinberg joined us Friday at 8. I got a really nice text from Chris Franklin with the Wilton Rancheria group last night about our coverage on it. And they're such a huge part. We're going to ask Kevin Nagel here in a second about their part in all of this. But just very complimentary. He's an incredibly sweet dude. And if you haven't noticed, Jason, you're the same way. We are very big fans of the Kings. We're very big fans of the Republic. We're very big fans of anything local, and also very big fans of people, whether it's mayors, whether it's tribes, whether it's business owners that have vision for the city and are going to grow it for our kids, grandkids, friends.
We all get to benefit from these things.
We all do. We all get to benefit. And, look, they're not dunking a basketball. They're not hitting a home run, and they're not scoring a goal, but they're helping all of those people do those things and provide a place where we can go and get good family entertainment and have fun. Joining us right now, the chairman of the Sacramento Republic, the chairman of Huddersfield Town, and about 50 other job titles we wouldn't have time for. We'd steal all his interview time. Kevin Nagel. Good morning, Kevin. It's Dave and Jason. How are you?
Hey, it's the Carmichael Ross Show. How are you guys?
I like it.
Your four listeners.
Thank you. Right out of the bat.
Wow. Shots fired.
Right off the top. Look, I'll tell you how it's going, Kevin. It's going. There's a bit of tension this morning because, as you well know, sorry, Jason. No, why don't you be mad at him? Kevin's a huge USC guy. And
game changer.
Right. And the interview is going to change. Yeah. So as you know, Kevin, in a couple weeks, we go down for orientation, but today is like the kickoff and everyone's encouraged to wear whatever. So I'm, for the first time in my life, I'm wearing USC gear. I'm wearing a USC Dad T-shirt, and Jason took a look at it, and his eyes started burning because he's a huge UCLA guy. So a lot of tension right now, Kevin. A lot of tension on this show.
Yeah, here's the thing, Jason. I have to tell you, I've known Dave a long time. He absolutely just hated USC. And then what happened was, his daughter, he's got a really, if I could say her name, Avery, very bright, very talented, young lady. She started getting her results of who was going to admit her. And then all of a sudden she got admitted to, one school. They're number 4 in the nation, in the school that she wanted to go to. And then she got into the number 3 school in the nation. And then she got into UCLA, which was the number 2 school in the nation, in media and arts. And then all of a sudden I said, Dave, what about USC? And he said, we haven't heard from them. And then finally she got into the number 1 school in the nation, USC, when it comes to media. And so I think, Dave, that's the school she got into, but she got in, she got the franchise, she got the MVP. Mm-hmm. So you know what? I'm glad you're wearing that shirt.
I'm going to have to check these facts. Where's our fact checker on the rankings of these schools?
Help the tension at all.
You might be right next to him because those were Dave's facts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, then there we go.
Absolutely a great point.
Columbia, UCLA.
Yep.
And then I think down at Chapman University.
NYU was in there as well.
Yep.
That being said, as I donate a kidney next week to help pay for this, Kevin, you don't have those issues, but you're spending a lot more than what I'm spending on USC for the stadium project. Again, we had the 2 mayors on earlier, and we're going to ask a little bit later about Wilton Rancheria and their involvement. But I know, and I always fully disclose that we do stuff together, although mostly in Europe. But in this case, I've been with you since day one on this. I know how many times, for lack of a better term, you've had doors slammed in your face, the MLS thing and all this stuff we've gone over. Look, the vote hasn't happened, and you and I know we're both incredibly superstitious. That being said, should things go correctly this afternoon and that vote pass as expected, I got to think this is as much a day of celebration as it is a day of pressure.
Yes, it is. But I will say this much, Dave. We had some celebration days in the past. Mm-hmm. For example, you mentioned MLS. We thought that was done deal, signed, sealed, delivered. It turned out it wasn't. Candidly, looking back, that didn't feel right. This today feels right. I mean, look, if it's not unanimous, it's going to be near unanimous. There's no reason not to pass this. This is great for the city. It's great for the region. It's a massive economic opportunity.
Kevin, how much of I don't know if game changer is the right word. Maybe it is the right word. Dave referenced the Wilton Rancheria group, just having them involved. How impactful has that been for this?
Well, it's really, I'm going to use superlatives. It's been phenomenal. We started to meet with those guys, over a year ago. And I mean, as I've said, and this has been public, really, it was a match made in heaven. It really was. And I felt like we found the right partner. They were local, first of all. And not only were they local indigenous for centuries. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, this is, we're going to the source of their land today. If that doesn't move somebody, they don't have an understanding of really what that means. But they've been fantastic. I think they're going to be great partners. I mean, we've negotiated, all the different contracts over the last year plus. They're really just great to work with. When we don't agree on something, we just have a super civil talk and get it over with. I could say this. I've had a lot of partners in my lifetime. They might be the very top of it.
Wow. I thought
more than you.
Right.
Yes. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, Dave. I'm sorry.
That's fine. We've had some very civil conversations, but that's fine. We'll move on. So just for people listening, and we went over this a little bit with Kevin and Daryl. We know that we know it's a soccer stadium. We know there's a music venue. We know there's some housing. Can you just give us the elevator pitch on basically what you guys are going to be building over the next few years?
Well, look, let me just a couple of corrections. I did hear you yesterday, and I did hear Mayor McCarty had to correct you on a couple of things, Dave, but that's okay. You've got a lot of facts in your head.
That's true.
It's going to be a stadium where you can play soccer and you can play a lot of other sports as well. I mean, that's the one thing. And then also, you're going to be able to have outdoor concerts. I mean, that's like, and then it's really just a community asset for a lot of different uses. That's one thing. I mean, that's really the fundamental part. Is there going to be a music venue? I mean, right now we've got to look to see what does that really mean, because, as I've shared with some of our partners, we anticipate we're going to build a hotel there. That hotel's got to have some other accoutrements to it. That might mean something where you've got music options, but there is going to be a music source down at the rail yards, and we have to give consideration to that as well. So, I mean, we will be doing, but I think you're going to have you're going to have different types of, building, homes and, of all types, whether it's affordable, whether it's middle class, in quotes, or upper class, like people like you, now that you've made a lot of your money.
Yeah, please. That money's out the window.
Talking with Kevin Nagel here. Kevin, yesterday when we did talk to the Mayor McCarty, he was very open about why he voted no previously on the Kings, but now is very much more in support of this as far as the Kings in the arena downtown. So now he's very much more in support of this. It sure seems like way more people are in support. I'm just curious on the other side if you're hearing much of any about people that aren't for this.
Well, I mean, yes. Let me say this much. I heard the mayor yesterday. I have a lot of respect for Mayor McCarty, but I would take exception with him. There are a number of public-private partnerships with stadiums and arenas that have been incredibly well for the community. And I mean, I think that in the case of what we're going to do today, look, there's just no down option on this. And I mean, are we hearing criticism, or you heard something from one specific labor union? I don't even think the rail yard is really their issue. It's another area, and they're using it as a political, tool, which, I would take exception to, because this is so great for Sacramento. It's going to create billions of dollars and thousands of jobs. And I mean, to think that you would try to stop that without any exposure on the public side is just morally wrong. And so, I mean, I don't hear a lot of it. I think that there are going to be some tough questions that the council members will give us today. And I think that needs to be done. We've had over 6 months, of a chance to people do all their diligence. We're coming down today, and I think that we're going to, as I said, I think if we get a vote, if it's not going to be unanimous, it'll be near unanimous.
Okay, so then, and there's been some, I don't want to say confusion, but there was the vote a few months ago, and the big thing downtown, the big presentation at City Hall. And I've had some listeners say, well, hold on, I thought that was the vote, and now this is the vote. So after this is done, like what's between today's vote, Kevin, and shovels in the ground? I guess that's a better way to ask.
Yeah, well, what you saw months ago was a non-binding vote, believing that this is what would happen, but there needed to be some diligence. That has been done. There have been a number of contracts that have been exchanged between the parties, DRV, who, holds the land, as well as the city, and of course, Indomitable, or, Sacramento Republic. And I mean, those three, we have contracts that we're in the process of either have negotiated or fine tuning. We've got to wait to see what the vote is today. And then we'll, hopefully tie the boat to everything. But I think most of it becomes formality now, and we just have to wait and see. I'm really excited, because I truly believe we're going to have a unanimous vote.
So if we think down the line, we assume everything's going to go well today. What kind of timeline are we talking about? I know things are very fluid and things change, weather, costs, all that kind of stuff. When do you think, Kevin, like perfect world, we might see this first match, let's say, in the new stadium?
April 27th. That's really the targeted goal. We're still prepared for that to be opening day. And I think that, as you said, things can change. I mean, you remember when we built, Golden One, it was amazing. We had a chase for that, and we had rain that we were dealing with. And those sometimes the elements outside, will be disruptive. But I think that we're good right now. We feel really pretty solid about that day, but you can't predict, as you know, you can't predict costs based on some of the things that have gone on in the international marketplace.
Kevin, weirdly enough, I know probably more about the stadium stuff going on in England with Huddersfield Town, or as much at least as I do here. I am curious, since you're kind of straddling both right now in completely different situations, but in both cases, in one case here, you're trying to build a stadium. In the case over there, you're trying to acquire complete control of the stadium. Do you learn one from the other, different countries and all that? But have you kind of become a pro at stadium acquisition now?
Well, I've become a lot smarter. I will say this much, yes, because really, believe it or not, in the international market, we use some of the same vendors and partners. We're doing that, for example, with a company called Levi. They're the world class when it comes to food service. And we've elected to use them in both markets, and they're just a market leader internationally. So, you start to, kind of leverage those relationships and partnerships. Elevate, which is a company that we use, is actually, partially owned by the 49ers. We use those guys, and they help us on the sports management side, which they do just a fantastic job. And they've helped us at Huddersfield Town, and now they're doing the same thing, with the Sacramento Republic. The one thing people don't know, Sacramento Republic, we have a long-standing relationship and friendship with the 49ers.
Kevin, I was thinking of Dave as he's asking you that. I was thinking about Huddersfield, and we all get to know Carmichael Dave in Sacramento here. But how's international Dave? How's he do over there?
Great question.
I'll tell you a funny story, Jason.
Oh, great.
His name there is Carmichael. Mm-hmm. They refer to him as Carmichael there.
They do.
And it's really funny because we have so many Daves that are over there that it's confusing. So they really think his first name is Carmichael.
Because they don't know Carmichael.
And it sounds it doesn't sound like very proper English.
Yeah.
Carmichael.
Hello, Mr. Carmichael.
Yeah.
Well, also, I can speak also when it comes to international, Dave. I can tell you with Kevin on the phone here, one thing that doesn't happen is it's the only time in my life that I'm completely out of control of what I eat for dinner. The general process is after the day is over, myself, Kevin, and his CFO, Michael, we usually all are over there together. And Kevin will say to myself and Michael, "Hey, what do you guys want for dinner?" And we'll kind of look at each other, and we might mumble an idea or two out, but we know that regardless of what we say, there's basically like 2 Italian restaurants there and a burger joint. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be one of those 3. It just matters what the guy with the mustache generally wants. And that's generally how the eating goes. Am I wrong there, Kevin?
Yeah. Here's the thing. If we didn't do that, Jason, we would be eating a Jack in the Box there, or really we'd be eating at McDonald's. McDonald's is taken over, and they now are starting to look like Americans there because the way they love that food. That's Dave's. Dave forgets that he has a company credit card, and we get to see what he.
Oh, I don't forget.
Greg's.
I never forget that.
Greg's. He hangs out at Greg's. That's the 7-Eleven of the UK. Oh, wow. And he loves Greg's.
The food over there is, in my humble opinion, not great for the most part. Now, some of it is, and usually there's an Asian place we go to that's really, really good too. But honestly, he's not lying. Right. There is a place called Greg's, and
you're just getting snacks.
Oh no, it's like, well, I get snacks that they have these. I don't know, Kevin. What would the equivalent of a Tesco be over here? I not an AM/PM.
It's like 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
I would say that it's 7-Eleven. That's another place that Dave hangs out. Really, they've got homeless outside there, and then there's Dave.
Yeah, it's true. And I find myself going to Greg's because they have this. You can get these sausage and cheese. It's like a Hot Pocket kind of, but flakier, and an orange juice for like $4. Because again, company cars,
sure.
Gotta take it easy. Meanwhile, these guys are at like, Kevin had this one fish, right? He ordered a fish, and you had to hit it with a hammer because it's encased in this like giant salt bubble.
You got to be careful. Dave's got listeners here from Huddersfield Town.
No, I'm just saying.
That food, Dave. I think that food was fantastic.
That food is. I'm not, dude. I'm talking about, and I go at it with them all the time. I'm talking about stuff like steak and kidney pie, or I've tried a bunch of the Sunday roasts. They're not as, not. Come on, man. Like.
They're outstanding, and I think the culture there is great. And Dave, we're trying to build our season tickets there. And Dave's like, I just got a text. We just lost 10.
Throwing me under the bus so hard. I'm getting.
Got to think of the people, Dave.
look, with everything happening, I don't want to ask you what's next because, it went from getting the Republic to identifying the land, which this rail yards thing, man, has just been there forever. Just this giant chunk of land that nobody's done anything with. And now
it's exciting. No, it's
it is
really exciting. I remember Governor Schwarzenegger making fun of it, when we came in as governor, and he thought that something would evolve from there. And then what's happened, he left, it was the same. And then it went on for another 10 years. And then, of course, when we thought MLS was going to happen, it was going to happen there. And he actually tweeted something out about it. And then that died. Here we are today, but this is going to be real. As I said, I feel it in my bones. I'm excited to talk to the council members today. I'm excited to hear and listen to, Mayor McCarty. They're all bullish and big supporters. I feel that we're going to have, again, I think it's a unanimous vote. There's just one person, maybe two at the most, that I just wonder about.
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Best of luck.
Not
great for the city. No, this is great for the city. No money coming out of the general fund. This is a private funding option. We're prepared to go the way. I got some great partners, with Jesus and the council. They've got a fantastic council, been very supportive. We're going to see them later on today.
Is Carmichael Dave Stadium out of the question as far as naming rights, or has those already been sold? I don't know. Just asking.
Legendary. We might get, Carmichael Ross Stadium. How about that?
You know what?
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the name. All right, Kevin, look, you got a busy day ahead. We appreciate, and, Daryl coming on Friday, Kevin McCarty coming on yesterday, and hopefully our top story, or one of them tomorrow, obviously, is that everything passed and shovels can finally go in the ground. So good luck. I know it's Kevin. How many years? Honestly, how many years has it been now? I forget that you've been.
I think it's 12. Look, I would say this much. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. I think I even alluded to you. Over the last decade, what has been the most successful professional sports organization in the region? Really professional. It's the Republic. We've won a title. We've been to the U.S. Open Cup Finals. That's almost next to impossible. We've won division titles. We've won league titles. We've been in playoffs every year but one, and that one year was the year that we decided we're going to prepare for MLS. So we got younger. So I mean, I'm really excited. Look, we have a highly competitive, great culture. We're battling right now, and I think that we've got years to come. We're really proud of the Sac Republic.
We've got some people as we get off the phone here over, as you mentioned, in Huddersfield Town, from over there in our chat and listening right now, and they're asking a question. I'll just ask you on the air. Hey, Kevin, are we going to sign anybody?
Stand by. You can tell them I said stand by. It's real time right now. Stand by. Stay up tonight.
All right, dude. Have fun today, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Good luck.
All right. All the best to you guys.
All right,
Thank you.
Take care. It's exciting.
A lot of people in support of it, which is good. And we're, April of 27, if it's all done right.
That seems
fast.
2+ years, right? April.
Less than 2.
No, that's right. Jeez.
Like 22 months.
That is
21.
Very quick.
Yeah.
I just look, obviously we're sports honks and there's a sports angle to a big sports angle to it, but how nice would it be just to be able to, between Rayleigh Field or Sutter Health Park, whatever, Golden One Center and the, Jason Ross Republic Stadium, to have this. I don't know why this is like kind of dumb, but I've always had this thought of like someday being able to take one of them horse carriages and be able to pass like all three. Cause that's not that far apart, right?
No, you can
Rayleigh,
walk
Tower Bridge over. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Walk from the Sutter Health Park to Golden One is easy.
And just having like multiple events there, some games overlapping, the business and really
like spend a day there. Right between any events or multiple events.
Absolutely. And what it could do for old Sacramento. I will never I've said this before and it's always stuck with me throughout the whole relocation process. There was one guy and one line that I never forgot, and I think about it all the time, Mick Cornett, who was the then mayor of Oklahoma City, who let us on the RV trip go in and interview him for the documentary. And my God, he was so fascinating to listen to. And he said at one point in one of his answers, he said, you cannot be a suburb of nothing. The vibrance of the outskirts of your city is directly connected to the vibrance of your core.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so profound to me, not because it's like some crazy mystery dissolved, but that I really felt like that dissolved all of the reason why stuff like this is important into one sentence, that it's not just about downtown Sacramento. It's about creating that core, and everything resonates from that nucleus. And we've seen the differences with Golden One Center. And now hopefully within, I guess, less than 2 years, we'll get even more of that. Hey, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm going downtown. I'm going to catch a River Cats game in the day and head on over to lunch at blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to hit the Republic game. And then there's this concert. And I'm tired of telling people that visit Sacramento when they say, what's there to do? And I always say, we're the taint of California. We ain't Tahoe. We ain't Yosemite. We ain't San Francisco or LA. Napa. You could go rafting. You could go to the Railroad Museum.
Yeah, everything's an hour away.
Everything's an hour away, and be able to say, oh, you know what? Stay in this hotel and do all this stuff. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We'll take a break. When we return, Tyrese Halliburton, quick note on him, just the ups and downs, what he's been through, the differences between the two, and we'll re-rack a conversation we had a little bit earlier about why did he struggle so much in game 2. We'll do that next.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
An Australian hiker travels to the American West to walk a wilderness trail.
Wasn't afraid to be out on his own.
But Eric Robinson vanished in the high Uinta Mountains.
I remember thinking, Eric, what were you thinking, mate?
I'm Dave Cawley. Join me on my podcast, Uinta Triangle, where I travel the world to answer the question, what happened to Eric Robinson? Follow Uinta Triangle. That's UINTA Triangle on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
Summer's almost here, and so are popsicles, pool days, and a lot of smiling. Make sure your kiddo's smile is ready with a visit to Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics. Our expert team makes dental visits easy and fun with sensory-friendly hours for kids who need a calmer environment. We can also accommodate same-day treatments, and to save you time, if your child needs multiple treatments, we can often do them all at once. Appointments fill up fast, so don't wait. Beat the summer rush and schedule online at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com, where healthy, happy smiles begin.
Switch to Comcast Business Mobile and save hundreds a year on your wireless bill. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Restrictions apply. Comcast Business Internet required. Compares 2 unlimited intro lines and lowest price 5G plans of top 3 carriers. Taxes and fees extra. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabytes of usage. Data thresholds may vary.
Summer savings explode at latest Elk Grove Chevy. Save $12,000 off MSRP after rebates. Every new 2025 Silverado half-ton LT and RST in stock exclusively at MadeAChevy.com. Now that's big, huge. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. Skeeter here. Got a question. What's small and dark with white bands on its legs and bites during the day?
Mosquitoes. Hi, I'm Luz Maria Robles, but these are 2 new types of day-biting mosquitoes. They're invading our area and becoming a big problem.
And they can be dangerous.
But we're on it, so when you see them, report it at fightthebite.net. In the meantime, use insect repellent and drain stagnant water around your yard.
We're here to help with these day-biting mosquitoes.
Visit us at fightthebite.net.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra. Tickets are available now at CITPFest.com. Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back. Thanks to Kevin Nagel for joining us. I was waiting for somebody to bring this up, and it took until 8:30. Did you see our guy DeMarcus last night?
I didn't.
Now I'm going to warn people. This was in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say that because I'm going to show this on let me find the right, here we go. I'm going to show this on the YouTube stream, and I'll talk it through for those who are listening on the radio. I do think I have a duty to say that there are some gestures that may be objectionable to some, so viewer discretion is advised, and I don't really think we need to have, I'm going to mute this. I don't think we really need to, it's not necessary to have sound on this, but this was DeMarcus playing in an exhibition game last night in Puerto Rico, and there's DeMarcus is wiping, he's grabbing the bottom of his jersey, and he's wiping sweat from around his eye. And you see a fan courtside looking at DeMarcus and doing, like, you put your fist to your eyes and move them back and forth like in a crying gesture, like, oh, you crying, DeMarcus, you know, talking garbage. DeMarcus then proceeds to grab a part of himself that, I'm not going to say that word out loud, and things ensue. So this is last night. You can see the fan doing the crying thing. You see DeMarcus doing his thing. And the next thing you know, hands are moving back and forth, and there's touching, and then there's yelling, and some teammates are holding DeMarcus back. And this fan, who I think would get crushed immediately by DeMarcus, kind of, you know, there was a big hullabaloo. It then spilled into as DeMarcus was leaving there's more. The court. Yeah, there is more. He's been ejected. He's walking off the court into the locker room, and, you know, fans are booing him. He's kind of flexing as he goes into the tunnel, and he's having an exchange with some fans. A fan flips him off. DeMarcus pushes his hand out of the way. Next thing you know, beer is being rained down on DeMarcus. He tries to go back on the court and is pretty much taken to the ground by his teammates. Yeah. And he is now being doused with beers and jeered by fans as he's being dragged by security back into the locker room. So not an exhibition game. Of an exhibition game. Not a Malice in the Palace moment in the sense of he didn't go with, but it could have gotten very, very bad. And you could tell that DeMarcus had lost his mind, his temper. Look, here's what I will say in full disclosure. You know, we know DeMarcus a little bit. I'm sure it's tough to listen to people talking garbage. People get really brave on the sidelines and say stuff. I don't, by the way, I always say this. It doesn't matter if it's DeMarcus or anybody else. I will always reserve judgment because I don't know what was said. And there's a couple of things I can think of that could have been said that might make somebody lose their minds. But let's just assume for a second that that didn't happen. Even if it did, you can't really do that. the Kings bowling tournament that they have every year.
Mm-hmm.
I think about 10 years ago, you'll probably remember this, Jason. I was out there. We were doing a bunch of interviews on location, and DeMarcus sat down with me. And I've said this before on the air. I asked him, I said, DeMarcus, do you ever go after a game and do you watch film? And do you watch, like, maybe you going at it with the refs, getting attacked, whatever? And do you ever realize you were wrong? And do you ever regret it? And I'll never forget. He said, Dave, I watch film all the time and I see how I react. And I go, man, DeMarcus, you are stupid as S word. You are stupid as blank. And that was one of the most, I don't want to say truthful because I don't think he lies, but one of the most, vulnerable is not the right word, but transparent answers he's ever given to any question. It really, really threw me back. He just, in the moment, and I'm paraphrasing now, but he said, in the moment, I have a very difficult time controlling my temper, whether we've won 10 games that year or 50 games that year, whether it's if we were in the NBA finals or it was game 3, I am insanely competitive. I am insanely emotional on the floor. I do not have the ability, at least yet, of being able to control my temper. And a lot of times it gets the best of me. It gets the best of my teammates. He had this, he is aware. But again, that doesn't matter. You're now talking about a guy who's in his late 30s who I believe, and I would say this if he was sitting across from me where you are right now, I might, flinch a little bit, but I would say to him, I fully believe the large reason why he has not been in the NBA the last couple of years is deserved or not. And I think most people would say deserved. It's his reputation.
Right.
It's his reputation, whether it's in the locker room, whether it's with players, whether it's with coaches, whether it's with fans, whatever it is, that there is no doubt that there is no doubt, and nobody will ever convince me that DeMarcus Cousins is not a Hall of Fame talent. And if you take you can take a good 6-7 year stretch of DeMarcus Cousins with the Sacramento Kings. That is Hall of Fame numbers. He is one of the most skilled big men to ever play the game. But it's always much like Brandon Roy, much like Bo Jackson, much like others, where it's been an injury issue. With DeMarcus, it's always going to be, what if DeMarcus Cousins' attitude was more like, I don't know, Jrue Holiday, but with the same talent? Where would he be?
Right.
And
one of the greats.
I agree. One of the all-time greats.
Yeah. And again, this is years later, so you've hopefully matured a little bit. I'm sure he has to some levels, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to say meaningless game, but come on.
It's an exhibition game. Yeah. Now, look,
again, who knows what was said?
Whether you're in a game or you're at a restaurant or you're walking down the street, if somebody says something, I get that.
Yeah.
But you got to be better than that.
And we'll use them because you said that, though. Jrue Holiday.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the same things could be said to Jrue Holiday and nothing happens.
Right. And allegedly, and again, I no reason to not believe him. I think it was Russ Westbrook not that long ago. We've heard this stuff about Westbrook and all that, but I think it was Russ. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but somebody called him the N-word on the sidelines. And he pointed out the fan, went to the refs, went to security, pointed at the fan. The fan was ejected. Now, look, man, I'm not going to pontificate on what it's like to be called that slur, but I think the only thing I could possibly think of would be if somebody said, your daughter's a blank, or your son, it goes after. I'm trying to think of something that would make me lose my mind. You got to realize who you are, who they are, and that ultimately stuff like that fan won last night. The heckler won, and I don't like you'll see on social media, DeMarcus is going to get crushed today, and he should. I'm not going to dismiss how difficult it must be to be in that position and walk in those shoes. I'm not. I get it, but also, dude, come on, man.
Yeah. I
don't enjoy seeing it.
And, I think would be an interesting, how many people, how many coaches, how many advisors, how many different people in his circle over the years have just tried to de-escalate things and get him to improve. And it just, some people are just wired and made up that way. I'm sure. And DeMarcus told you, like in other calm moments would be like, I'd love to not be like that, but he can't help it. He didn't want to do this.
Full disclosure, one of my 3 best friends in the world is his manager. His guy is one of my favorite people in the entire world. You could not find a more level-headed, likable, sweetheart of a human being. And by the way, to DeMarcus's credit, they met when this guy was, washing jock straps, for lack of a better term, and folding towels as a team manager at Kentucky. And they both left school early. And DeMarcus said, "Hey, come with me on this journey." And it's been amazing for him. It's amazing for him. And he's doing real well right now in some other businesses. Obviously, his relationship with DeMarcus is absolutely helped him. And they'll all tell you, I don't want to tell tales out of school and violate confidences, but I will tell you this. His entire circle, right? At least the ones I know that were with him after every game, that were roommates with him in his first big house when he was, rookie, the people that grew up with him, if you will, they all say the same thing. DeMarcus would take a baseball bat to anybody for us. He would do anything for us. He is the ultimate loyal guy.
Right.
Once you get through, he is your guy. He would go to the ends of the earth. He would ask you, how are you? If something was wrong, how can I help? Like, they are so loyal back to him, and there is such a sense of family there. And I think the most common response I've gotten to that question is, he knows.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'm not trying to, I'm going to say something I hope people take it the right way, because I'm certainly not trying to make light of it. We talked about Tourette syndrome the other day, and we talked about how, when somebody has Tourette syndrome, they have involuntary tics. This is not an involuntary tick. I'm talking about his temper. There's obviously things maybe that could help him, but it's almost like telling somebody with an affliction, he's aware. He knows.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to. He either will not or cannot control himself in those situations. And it really is sad, because underneath that, I have no problem saying publicly, there's a good person there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good dude with flaws like we all have, but that's what everybody sees.
Yeah.
The reputation is earned.
Oh, for sure.
He's not getting screwed over with the reputation is earned.
Yeah, and part of it, I think he has felt like he got screwed over.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And look, it doesn't mean that there haven't been situations where the reputation has preceded him and he's gotten screwed over, but there's a reason the reputation preceded him.
Right. He earned it.
And he absolutely earned it, which it'd be one thing if it was like, yeah, dude, he's actually a piece of garbage off the court. He's actually not there's no redeeming quality. Well, okay, fine. There's plenty of people like that with very few or any redeeming qualities. What makes it sad is that there are.
Yeah.
I believe he's a good human, but not everybody gets, he's not. And by the way, have you ever seen him do any of these podcasts or anything? He's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy it. It's almost like Draymond in the sense I really enjoy both of their contributions. I just honestly hope that I hope he can figure it out. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will visit the Tyrese Halliburton thing, because we keep skipping over it, and then we'll get to who's hot, who's not, and streaking. We'll do all that right after this.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Is your AC on the fritz? Call Bell Brothers. Looking to replace your old unit with a 0% financing and no payments for 12 months on approved credit? Call Bell Brothers. We're fast, reliable, and respect your time by showing up when we say we will. The price we quote is the price you pay. We are the No Surprise guys. Call today to get a free estimate on a new HVAC system, or simply schedule your $87 AC Precision tune-up to keep your system running smoothly. With more technicians, more trucks, and more experience, we get the job done right the first time. No surprises. Our technicians are all background checked, drug tested, and will leave the work area cleaner than they found it. Don't wait. Call Bell Brothers today or book online at nosurpriseguys.com. That's nosurpriseguys.com.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I gotta get business cards printed for my entire staff, but where do I even?
That was easy.
Oh, okay, Staples. But can I have bigger stuff printed too, like huge signs and banners?
That was easy.
Nice. And what if I had to ship a package?
That was easy.
Have my passport photo taken?
That was easy.
Coffee and snacks?
That was easy.
What about the latest laptops?
That was
Earbuds
easy.
and headphones?
That was
Office
easy.
chairs?
That was easy.
I think I also need to get some Staples.
Seriously?
I had to ask.
For everything your business needs to get the job done.
Staples. That was easy.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here again. Over the years, I've seen way too many timeshare exit companies pop up, take folks' money, and disappear. I just saw an ad from an exit company started by a couple of bozos that used to work for me. My advice, don't hire bozos I'll fire. Want out of your timeshare? I'll send you our free timeshare exit info kit explaining your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free kit. 800-329-3737. That's 800-329-3737.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot.
And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
Hey, Anthony, who is hot?
Who's hot?
Yeah, who's hot?
Denzel Clarke's hot.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Give him a Gold Glove already.
2 plays of the week in a row. Probably a third here with one of the best catches I've ever seen in my life.
That
Going
was
crazy.
That was just. I don't know why the first thing that comes to my mind is stupid, and not in the way of dumb, but just like that was just stupid. Like how do you even do that? And it was the greatest catch all. I don't know, whatever. That's why do we always have to it's the greatest catch of all times? But my goodness gracious me, really good catch, Jason.
Yeah, that's an athlete right there. Getting back there, timing it, going up, no fear.
I'm not trying to say I did anything like that in Little League. I mean, I did have an unassisted triple play once.
There's some comps.
I feel like Denzel Clarke felt a lot like me during that triple. Yes, you go, how did I even do that? It's like I wasn't even in my body at the time. How did that even happen? And the reaction from the pitcher is probably the best. He's got his hand on his glove. He's just like, what did I just see? Well, you saw one of the great catches to ever happen. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, Jason Ross. I think that's the last time we're going to see old Denzel Clarke making a great catch.
Why?
Just a thought. Now watch, I jinxed him. Would that be weird if you never had a great?
Oh, I thought you said it's going to.
No, that's not going to be the last time.
Okay, gotcha.
No, sorry, that's like, not going to be the last time.
Yeah,
that week.
He's at 3 weeks in a row.
But how funny not funny. What if that was like? What if it's just a coincidence?
That was just a peak. Those 3, and it's like that's about it.
Just happened to be these last couple of weeks, and he plays 12 more years, and maybe has a couple diving catches, but that's it. Yeah.
good time.
I highly doubt it. Who's not?
Who's not?
Who is not?
Stuart Skinner, the goalie of the Edmonton Oilers.
Woof.
Yeah, he got pulled from the game after allowing 5 goals on 23 shots. They lost 6-1.
He did not stand on his head.
He did. He
Maybe he was on his head and he wasn't watching.
We were going to talk about this earlier. We went long, I think, with Tom. I watched the game last night. I've watched all 3 Stanley Cup games. And maybe I have this conversation once a year. And I always have it around this time. I don't pretend to understand hockey anywhere near the level that I understand other sports, baseball, basketball, football, etc. But I watch these Stanley Cup finals and I am just, dude, I am enthralled.
Mm-hmm.
It is insane. And every time I forget that they're doing all this insane stuff on skates, I remind myself that they're doing all this insane stuff on ice skates, on razor blades, on ice. Just there was one point where they had like 3 fights going at once. Everyone, because in a blowout like that, and these dudes are walking away with their tongues out and blood dripping off their chin, and it has all the elements of things as a sports fan I love. Tremendous athleticism, fighting, emotion, fast pace. I mean, that game is constantly going. And yet regular season, I think the conversation I'd like to have soon is, maybe I'm crazy, dude. I swear to God, I think this is a hockey town. That's just, I think like how Sacramento is an undercover college town.
Right.
I think they're an undercover. I think if the Vegas Golden Knights style, whatever, came to Sacramento, played at Golden One Center, or had their whatever, I think there'd be a learning curve. But I think first off, we'd sell out every game just because. And then I think this place would be insane for hockey, much like they became in San Jose, and much like it became in dude, if you can have Las Vegas.
Oh, it's that they love the Golden Knights there.
Love it.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the type of town that could get into it, but that is the biggest mystery for me in all of my dealings with sports. Dave, why aren't you that into hockey? Somebody asked me. I go, I don't know.
Right. And it's one of those that, like a lot of people say about baseball, it's like, I'd rather be at the game than watch it.
Yeah.
To me, hockey there in person is fun.
We got to go streaking, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
I know you'd love to see me take the shirt off.
Go streaking.
We're going streaking!
Who is the Nostradamus of MLB? Who can keep the streak going? It's time to go streaking.
What the hell are you doing?
Streaking. All right. Dave is at 2. I'm at 1. Chris is at 5, and Anthony 0. So we're starting fresh for Anthony. That's fine. Didn't have Bryce Harper.
Sometimes that helps.
Yeah. But Dave, you check the big dumper, Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, it's like kind of what I as a matter of fact, I was referring to my one of my dogs as Cal Raleigh this morning.
Oh.
So I went to go get dressed, and something smelled rough in the bedroom where they all sleep, and I went to go to my side, my mirror, and my sink, and I passed a bath mat, and between the time I went downstairs to write the show and I came back up, it wasn't Nacho. I can promise you that. This thing was about as big as Nacho, but either Gus or Gracie dropped a Cal Raleigh all over one of the bathrooms.
And you stopped what you did to clean it up?
I stopped what I did immediately, and I took a moment to feel really bad for my wife when she woke up being greeted by that. See, there's no school I don't have to worry about. The secret, Jason, is that I just go, oh my God, I didn't see it. What, are you blind? No, it's morning. I don't have the lights on. I didn't see it.
So, yeah, it's a good thing you didn't mention it on the radio.
Also, I want her to feel like, look, if for nothing else today, that's an accomplished goal.
Mm-hmm.
When she's like you on the rundown, and she's writing check marks at the end of the day,
clean some poop,
scooping up the Cal Raleigh.
Yeah.
The big dumper. All right.
Well, Cal Raleigh got up 5 times, and he left you with a big dumper.
Oh, did he really?
0 for 5.
Yeah, come on, Cal. Come on, Cal.
Their streak is.
Well, speaking of streaks. Yeah. All right.
Well, I didn't really have much of a streak at 1. I took Jacob Wilson, the guy who can't not get a hit.
Can't not get a hit.
Yeah, he got it 4 times for the A's, and he did not get a hit.
Oh, jeez. We are terrible. Okay.
So we both took the big dumper.
I can't remember the last time we went over on the show.
Well, there are 2 more people participating. Chris did send his pick in. He sent in Jose Ramirez of the Guardians.
Red hot Jose Ramirez.
Red hot Jose, and I actually forgot to look him up, but I know he got a hit.
I'm sure he got it.
He did. He got at least one, but let me just double check to get the facts right here. We just want the facts.
We just nothing but the facts, ma'am.
He was 1 for 3 with an RBI.
Speaking of Jose Ramirez, I noticed this the other day. Who's leading the Cleveland Guardians in batting average?
Stephen Kwan.
Nope, Jose Ramirez.
No.
How about home runs?
Jose Ramirez.
How about RBI?
Jose Ramirez.
How about on base percentage?
Jose Ramirez.
How about hits overall?
Jose Ramirez.
I'm sorry. How about stolen bases by 10?
Jose Ramirez?
Jose Ramirez is 19 stolen bases. Stephen Kwan is second with 9. I saw a stat the other day. It was like the last time a player led his team in basically every stinking. He's tied for first in doubles. It said home run, RBI, total bases, runs 41 to 31. Last time a player led his team in all this, it was like Crazy Eyes McGillicuddy in 1908 or something. It was that long ago, right? Looked like Marty Feldman out there, but man, he could hit.
Andrew Gaze.
Every throw was a no look.
Anthony took Manny Machado of the San Diego Padres.
Manny Machado.
2 for 5 with an RBI. So Chris is at 6.
Good.
Anthony's at 1. Dave, you and I are zeros.
Yeah, we are. Aren't we?
But a new day today, so feel free to pick away.
You know what? I just got done singing his praises. How about I cool him down a little bit? I'll take Jose Ramirez.
Oh, yeah. You are the cooler.
I am the cooler.
Jose Ramirez. Cooler. Chris, by the way, sent in via text Ronald Acuna Jr.
Oh, great. Good for him.
I'm going to take today. Let's go with. You know what? I haven't picked a Giant in a while. I'm going to take a Giant.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to go with Elliot Ramos.
Yeah. You know what? It's an interesting conversation, I guess, to have at some point. Not that we would dive into it, but Jose Ramirez is in his 13th year, all with Cleveland. I wonder where he's at by now in all-time Cleveland Indians.
It's got to be way up there.
It really does.
Guardians. Yeah.
Guardians, sorry. Yeah, that too.
And we need a pick 2 from Anthony, by the way.
Oh, Anthony, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going Jeremy Pena.
Oh.
Jeremy Pena. All right, fine. We're having a little fun, but Anthony says we've got a break. So we'll do that when we come back. Let's take a look. Now, remember, Tyrese Halliburton slipped to the Kings in the 2020 draft. I'll take a quick look back. How was that draft?
Yeah.
We'll do that after this.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
We get it. Tariffs are tough. Power tools are getting expensive. But at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, we're solving that problem for 2 short days on June 20th and June 21st. We're putting all DeWalt power tools on massive discount. Batteries for less than $100. Combo kits for under $150. 20% off all regular price Tough System boxes and much, much more. So stop by Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento on June 20th and 21st for some of the lowest prices on tools you'll ever see this year. To see all of what's on sale, visit FastenersInc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Yep. Dwayne wants to know on the chat, and welcoming everybody on the chat. Hello. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. And you can also text us at 916-339-1140. You can call us at 1-800-920-1140. He said, how many different Sacramento pro sports have you gone to? I know you're going to win here, but all right, Kings, River Cats, Republic, Mountain Lions, Gold Miners, Surge.
You went to all of these?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
At least one game.
Yeah.
Sacramento Knights counts, right? The soccer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Knights.
Championship.
Yeah, Knights. Monarchs.
Mm-hmm.
I never went to go see the Capitals. The tennis.
I never did either.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Never did.
That's weird that I didn't.
I'm trying to think. Are there any other? Am I missing any?
I can think of one other one that I did. I'm just trying to think if I'm missing any right now. I did go to a Sac Attack, the Arena League team that was here for maybe 1 year.
God, I forgot about
Arena League football.
I didn't know.
That was probably 92, maybe. Let's see.
I think that's about it. I'm trying to think if there were any like tournaments that were held.
There
here.
was, I mean, it wasn't a Sacramento team, but there was preseason hockey.
There was, and I did you go? You did? Yeah, I did.
But that wasn't a Sacramento team.
I feel like that adjacently counts though.
And then obviously MMA and boxing.
Oh, God, I didn't think about that.
But Sacramento teams.
Yeah, going to see.
I never went to River Rats, the hockey outdoor hockey, like roller hockey.
Okay.
And I know there's the Sirens, the women's football.
Yeah, you know what?
Roller derby. There's a roller.
My
derby
wife, you remember my wife was doing roller derby for a quick minute, and then she got pregnant with Avery. And
Is that right?
I
feel like I didn't even remember
that. She did for just a quick minute. Did the practices, did a couple of games or whatever, and yeah, she got knocked up by some dingleberry. Yeah, right. Got her hammered, took advantage. Hey, now we got a couple kids, and yeah, shockingly, she had to quit.
It's not too late. She can make a second career of it now.
So funny, like how she's a coach now.
Yeah.
Like she's just such a tiny little, not tiny physically. I mean, she's 5'10", 5'11", but just she does not appear to be the person that is outgoing and roar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember I watched a couple and it's just like, I don't know, man. Like that's just watching her get smashed against the rails and all that stuff. It's a little difficult.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other teams. I'm sure there are, but
so. By the way, my son had basketball on Sunday. Came home with a fat lip. That was interesting because he took an elbow in the
summer league or something.
Yeah, they're always doing some AAU or he's a junior this year.
That's right.
He's trying to. Remember last year was the experiment putting him on varsity where he watched a lot, and now it's okay. Well, did it pay dividends or? Because basically I told him, I said, look, dude, you gave up being on JV last year and starting and being a main guy so you could, learn varsity and all that. If you're not starting your junior year, failure.
Yeah.
Failure.
Yeah, you put that on him. Got to be the man.
You got to set realistic expectations. Oh, okay, here we go. What about the LPGA, at Twin Bridges?
12 Bridges.
12 Bridges.
Yeah, went to that.
Okay.
Watched Natalie Golbus way back when.
So I didn't go to that, but I went to the Senior Open.
I went to that over
at Del Paso. Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Did that. The Bassmaster. Oh, was there a fishing thing out here?
Maybe. Oh, wasn't there?
How do you watch a fishing tournament?
I never watched. I don't know. Never saw the Solons. That was before our time.
Yeah.
Wasn't there the Steelheads?
Okay, there was something like that because Timothy Busfield, the actor, played for them. I remember exactly what, but I thought
were they like single A or independent or something?
Didn't they call themselves the Solons too, though? I'm
remembering the name Steelhead.
Steelhead sounds familiar too. You're right.
I don't know.
But I swear they brought back Solons, and Timothy Busfield played on one of those teams.
Okay.
I have some weird little kid memory of that. All right, let's talk about the 2020 draft, Jason. Is the most unique draft in NBA history.
It is?
Because of COVID.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of times, I think it's fair to look back at a draft 5 years later, right? And so now here we are with the draft being a couple weeks, I think 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Look back at that 2020 draft.
Well, why do you just text me? River Rats roller hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
I said, River.
You said that, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, thanks for listening, Whitey.
That's why I couldn't remember. River Rats, what they were, roller hockey. Got it.
I would say, go ahead. I don't want to jump ahead.
No.
Okay. So just looking at it, one thing that really jumps out at me very quickly is that I think I'm right here that you could say whatever, but the number one pick in the draft would still be the number one pick in the draft.
Got right.
In Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
But Tyrese Halliburton being the number 2 pick, I think.
Yeah, this is where it was unique in the fact that the Warriors had the one really down year, had an opportunity to get a pick. And I think if you look back at history, more teams make mistakes by drafting for size.
It is.
You can't teach 7 feet. You go for Wiseman. And
that's right.
Imagine if they took Halliburton. Imagine if they took who went third? Ball?
LaMelo Ball.
Right.
It's why you always draft best player available.
Absolutely.
And then figure it out.
In the draft, you do that. To me, it's
always.
Not fit. It's not project. I mean, later in the draft could be project.
Sure.
But when you're picking in the lottery, you're picking that high. Yeah, we could have Greg Oden. You could have had Kevin Durant. We could have had, fill in the big man.
Right.
That this guard, this forward, this wing, this point guard ends up being better. And a lot of Marvin Bagley over Luka. I mean, size, I think, burns teams more than not.
It's just a bad.
Yeah, that was Monty's first draft, right?
It was. And Monty McNair's very first draft, he gets not only the steal of the draft, but look, I mean, obviously, Nikola Jokic is the greatest draft steal of all time, but really, probably the best steal in Kings history.
Yeah, and I can't remember like pre-drafts or mock drafts. Like, I know the saying is he fell to the King, but I don't know Halliburton was probably around like 8.
I thought he was. I mean, I got to go back and look, but I could have sworn he was like top 5.
Was he?
Yeah, some had him like top 5. I think the lowest I saw him was like 8th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was, but not 12.
Right.
And you wonder if like one of the things that is incredibly interesting about Tyrese Halliburton. So you take like Chris Verlade, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always fascinated why Chris is not a and I still believe if Tyrese was on the Kings, he'd be Chris's favorite player. Right. Just because of the way Tyrese's attitude, the wrestling, the being the heel, all that stuff. But when you really think about Tyrese Halliburton, he comes into the NBA and right away he's got to sit there in that draft room and watch his name drop and drop. And they thought he could go as high as 2 to the Golden State Warriors. He slips all the way down to 12 and the Sacramento Kings. So that's number 1.
Yeah.
Less than 2 years later, the NBA world is shocked as he is dismissed to Indiana because the Kings thought Domantas Sabonis would be better.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to earlier this year. He is voted by his peers, as the most overrated player in the NBA. He doesn't have a chip on his shoulder. He has like a family-sized pack of cheddar and sour cream Ruffles on his shoulder.
Right.
It's really interesting when you think about, perceived or not, all these slights he's had to deal with in a very, very young career.
Yeah. And I wonder if he went anywhere before the Kings, what Sacramento would have done. Obviously one of the players before them would have dropped down.
Yeah, I think it would have been Devin Vassell, to be honest with you.
So maybe, and that was a name I know that was talked about with Sacramento. But picks before Tyrese, besides Wiseman, I mean, Patrick Williams still hasn't quite materialized in Chicago.
Patrick Williams and Devin Vassell both. Hey, next time it comes up, I'm telling you, in almost every case, Florida State players underperform in the NBA. Now, Vassell's close.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say he's probably
pretty good
for 11. Scotty Barnes,
when
he's healthy,
really
is a tremendous. But go ahead.
Then you look at Killian Hayes, who went 7th overall. Denny Avdia, who's I think done a nice job.
I put Denny Avdia in the Josh Giddey category of guys that need to be on the radar for future stars. Like Denny, I loved Portland picking him up. I really did. By the way, do we agree that 1 and 3 would not move?
If Halliburton went 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ball's 3rd.
I think Ball's 3rd too. And by the way, and I think you make a case for being 2 if he could stay healthy and he could win. But let me ask you this. Tyrese Maxey was the 21st pick in the draft.
Right.
That's probably 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I was trying to look at who would 4 belong to, but I mean, so far career-wise, it was an all-star this year. And I can't remember if he's a 2-time all-star, but Tyrese Maxey's really good.
Really good player.
Yeah. But again, that's the pick at what, 21?
21.
So, as you go to the rest of the first round, I thought it was interesting that Jaden McDaniels, who ultimately went to Minnesota, but was taken by the Lakers.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'd love to have him now. Desmond Bane, the last pick of the first round, taken by the Celtics. Ultimately going to the
Desmond. That is I completely forgot about that. Jesus, Desmond, what a great pick.
Yeah. And then the second round, the Kings took Xavier Tillman, traded him to Memphis, and got what I think fans just love so much in Robert Woodard that just never materialized. And then later in that round, the Kings took Jamias Ramsey.
So if we agree that Edwards would be 1, Halliburton would be 2, LaMelo Ball would be 3, and Tyrese Maxey
could
would
be 3.
I agree with you. I would accept arguments for there. So either way, Halliburton 3, Maxey 3, then the other one 4. Bane's 5th, right?
Probably. And you might even have if you put that poll out to NBA people everywhere and say, would you rather have Tyrese Maxey or Tyrese Halliburton? Halliburton probably wins, but I think that's close.
I agree with you.
So I'll still, Halliburton 2, Maxey 3.
With you. Well, I think
Bain might be 4 ahead of Ball.
I was gonna, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, honestly, it's
but it's back to the winning thing. Like Ball, I think is a good player, but if he was on a winner, maybe he's looked at differently. And part of the reason they're not winning is partly him, partly not.
I completely agree. I think where it gets really, really difficult once you put Bain up there is you've got McDaniels, Emmanuel Quickly, Peyton Pritchard, RJ Hampton,
Avdia,
and then Denny Avdia, like all just kind of hard to separate them, if you will, because they all have their own things that they've done. And then guys like Peyton Pritchard just really seem, I mean, he is an indispensable piece to the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, and the amount of times over the years that there are lottery picks that just don't work.
Yeah.
Is kind of amazing because all these guys, and I would say everybody that's constructed for organizations to evaluate talent, they're pretty good at it.
Yes.
But they all miss.
They do.
Universally. And it's a phenomenon to me. I mean, I don't know why I would expect people to be perfect and why you'd expect the order to be like, yeah, you have the first pick, get the right pick right. Well, Anthony Edwards is the right pick.
Sure.
But after that, we've already changed the order.
Yes.
And
within 5 years.
We took one player out and the second pick is wrong.
Mm-hmm. Very wrong.
And it's not going to recover. Like we're 5 years now where we could go, all right, we gave it time. We didn't need 5 years to decide this, but
it's Marvin Bagley.
Yeah. Marvin Bagley was not the number 2
pick.
pick. And in that thing, I don't remember where you put Marvin now. He's probably 10th, 12th, 15th in that draft. I don't know where he is, but he's not 2. We know that. And the problem is, again, back to some other drafts where you go, the best player in that draft is just an okay player. Anthony Edwards is a great player.
Tremendous player.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's just have fun here, even though this isn't going to be fun at all. I'm going to give you a player. You say yes if you would put them ahead of Marvin Bagley, no if you would not, okay?
Okay, present day. Yeah, so this is his draft?
This is his draft.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton?
Ahead of Marvin.
Yeah. Luka?
Yes.
Jaren Jackson Jr.?
Yes.
Trae Young?
Yes.
Wendell Carter Jr.?
Yes.
Okay. Colin Sexton?
Yes.
Okay. Mikal Bridges?
Yes.
Ooh, this is a good one. Marvin Bagley or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
SGA?
Yeah, okay. Miles Bridges?
Yes.
Take away the obvious.
No, yeah, for sure.
Michael Porter Jr.?
Yep.
Dante DiVincenzo?
Yes.
Kevin Huerter?
Yeah, probably.
I think so.
Yeah.
Just sheer playing time. Grayson Allen?
Yes.
Anthony Simons?
Yes.
Landry Shamet?
I don't know. Now we're
okay.
I have to think about that one.
Time Lord Robert Williams.
Probably.
Yeah, I think so. Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Second rounder. Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
Gary Trent Jr.
Yeah, probably.
Bruce Brown.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some moments certainly, but yeah, I guess.
Okay.
What are you at, 18 or 15? 13?
I'm at 13 right now. And by the way, I'm skipping a lot of DeAnthony Meltons and Jared Vanderbilts and a lot of other guys in here that God dang it, I hate that stupid draft. God, I hate that. Anyways, yes. And I've always been fascinated. The thing that fascinates me the most about NBA scouts, I feel like it's a lot easier for them to determine that a good or a big name college player will not translate to the NBA. That's the easier one, weirdly, or the one they have the better track record with than the player that slips down that maybe isn't the big name having some insanely good year. And what I mean by that is, we've done this exercise before where you have the final 4 most outstanding player. And you always go the Luka Garzas of the world, the Cherokee Parkses of the world, whomever. And you always go, how do they know? You've seen this. You've seen Sean May just dominate at North Carolina, winning a championship. He is the man. They can't guard him. And then they know that they can't play in the NBA.
Well, and I think, I'm sure this is part of the decision making for our general managers is what you hear about a lot is, okay, who can they guard?
Yes.
So when we talk about positionless basketball, but what position would they guard? So then if it's like a Sean May, you're going, well, in college, he was kind of a center / power forward.
Sure.
Now, can he guard the Joker? Can he guard Kevin Durant? Can he? You're like, we're having a little. I don't know that he can't. Now we're taking some of the greatest players to play the game, but that's who you have to do. What you have to do on a nightly basis. So I think that's where some of the great college players, when they're looking at them, kind of fall short on some of these guys.
Which is crazy because you look. Sometimes they miss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just looking at it right now, though. So the Phoenix Suns, according to CBS, I'm just looking at one mock draft. The Phoenix Suns are expected to pick Walter Clayton Jr. out of Florida with the 29th pick in the draft.
Right. He had an incredible tournament.
That's your Final Four most outstanding player.
Right.
And
then
he's
29th. But again, so what, I mean, is he have the foot speed to stay with SGA? Can he guard him? Well, again, that's one of the best two guards in the game. Well, it is. Can he guard Anthony Edwards? Can he guard Steph Curry? But that's what he can't do. Also, looks like the guy's a pretty gifted shooter. Can he get that shot off in the NBA? Can he make those big moments, big shots, that kind of thing?
Tristan Newton was drafted with the 49th overall pick in the second round by Indiana. He's currently playing for the Iowa Wolves. Adama Sanogo, UConn, year before. Ochai Agbaji, Kansas, 2022. Jared Butler, 2021. Kyle Guy, 2019, because there's no, COVID. DiVincenzo, Joel Berry II, Ryan Arcidiacono, Tyus Jones, Shabazz Napier, Luke Hancock, Anthony Davis, 2012 Kentucky. It's always amazed me.
Yeah.
And they almost always get it. Like, none of those guys I mentioned were crazy high picks.
Right. So they could find that part out.
Right.
But it's the ones that, like, why did this guy go 23rd?
Yes.
He's the best player in the draft.
And the thing is that we as fans, like you mentioned Robert Williams out of the third, out of, I believe it was Mississippi State.
Robert Woodard, yeah.
Robert Williams. Robert Woodard third out of Mississippi State when the Kings drafted him in the second round. And it was, dude, this is the answer to our defense. This is the next coming to Draymond Green. This is our guy. It is so funny how we as fans so ridiculously overvalue, sometimes in a good way, but our second round picks.
Yeah.
Because we want to have that story. Now, guys like Keon Ellis, guys like Isaiah Thomas, whether they were second rounders or undrafted, whatever it is, they worked out fantastically. But for every one of those, is the Robert Woodard, is the Kyle Guy, is the name whoever it is, but we want the steal.
Yeah. It's interesting. I remember, so when the Kings won the lottery to move up to get to number 2, and ultimately they took Bagley instead of Luka, there was that window then when we now are going, oh my gosh, for a month or so, what are the Kings going to do? And looking at every mock draft, and Ayton was still the target at number 1. A lot of people had Luka at 2 and other names in there. But Luka was playing in some, maybe it was the Eurobasket. There was some sort of thing that he was playing a couple different times. And of course I had heard of him, but now look, it's not our jobs. We're not scouts, but I remember him being on one of these TVs, and here I was doing the middays with Damian, and we're watching one of the Eurobasket games, and here's Luka. And so all Kings fans are watching him. So I remember one of the first times watching him going, yeah, but not, that's the guy.
Right.
Because I think, like, watching him, again, not a scout, didn't watch every game, was watching a game on TV. You see the stuff when you watch him in person, you go, he's not faster than anybody.
Nope. Doesn't look incredibly gifted athletically.
No, he's not. Like, when you watch Fox in 1 second, you go, oh my gosh, that guy is a blur. You see Victor Wembanyama, oh my gosh, he's so tall. Or this guy, David Robinson, was just chiseled.
Yeah.
You look at Luka and you go, yeah, I mean, I don't see this amazing first step. Looks like, he can shoot. There's some pretty good passing, but it's like watching him over time. And then when you see him in person, you're like, I don't know how he's doing this, because he can have the best defender, but he's got him on his hip and he's got enough of an angle and he knows how to work that. Or he can, dribble over here. Where's he going? And he whips a pass over and it's right in Carmichael Dave's shot pocket. And
Right
it's like,
there.
It's the perfect pass.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, now
I see it.
Now I see it. But sometimes I wonder if, again, I'm not even trying to defend scouts, but like other things will jump out at you. Like, well, that's the strongest guy out here. That's the quickest guy out here.
Sure.
That's the fastest guy out here. That guy's got long arms. All right. But like, how many reps do you need to go to really go, all right, I've seen this blur of a guy, seen this really tall guy. I think this guy's really strong. But like, if we're talking about like a Joker, his skills are incredible.
Right.
Luka's skills are incredible.
Yes.
And really, like, LeBron's a freak athlete, but his skills are incredible.
Yes.
So you've married the talent of something that just jumps off a page with skills, and I don't think it's easy to do it, but they miss. It's crazy.
To take your point, and then we'll go to break a step further. I would bet any amount of money on this. I think if you took names out of the equation, okay, and
names of the players,
reputations, all that, and we could somehow construct an experiment and go back in time, and you took all 18,000 people at Golden One Center for a Kings game. So you have some that are hardcore basketball fans, some that just like the licorice and slams. You got all walks. And you gave them a card, and at the end of the exhibition that they were about to watch, they had to list their prospects in order of who they draft. And you had let's call it an 18-year-old Luka Doncic and an 18-year-old Mac McClung. I think Mac McClung would win going away.
Yeah.
Because he jumps off the page, especially playing in that environment against other people that are still amateurs. You look at Mac McClung in a G League game, you look at Mac McClung in an exhibition, you're like, this is Michael Jordan's second coming. This guy is insane. He's a hanger-on in the NBA. It's very much, I would say, Mac McClung, and I mean this with all love and respect, by the way. I would say Mac McClung is very much like to the NBA that a long drive champion is to the PGA.
Yeah.
Well, hold on a second. The guy can hit at 450.
No one else can do that.
How is he not winning every tournament? Because there's about 50 other things you have to be good at in the PGA, and arguably short game just on its own, putting and pitching, more important. You'd rather hit a 200-yard drive and be a stud around the greens than be smash-a-roni and cheese and shankopotamus.
Right.
So we'll take a break. That all made sense. When we come back, what to watch tonight, and then we'll get to crosstalk and celebrity birthdays. We'll do it next.
Stay up to date on Sacramento sports. Join the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SacktownSports.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need Guaranteed to fit at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places that I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sacktown Sports.
If you missed it earlier in the show, thanks again to Kevin Nagel, who joined us at 8 o'clock. Also, Tom Morton. Really fun talking to him about what's going on out at Oakmont. Zach Polo, wishing him the best of luck. Teeing off tomorrow. Tom will be on the bag there as his caddy. And again, with Kevin Nagel, the big vote today.
Big vote.
Anticipating good news there. He is, which is good. If he's confident, Ian Riccardi seems confident. Lots of people seem confident. I know that's not what to watch, but that's what to follow today. The vote is something to follow, to monitor, and to know what's going on.
God, you know what I need to watch is the scale.
What do you mean?
Jesus. I just saw the replay of me walking across the camera. Am I pregnant? God, this shirt sucks. It's totally not the fat underneath it. It's the shirt. Ugh. Come on, Jason. What is going on here? It's not great. I'm doing instant replay. Look at this. Look at that boiler. Oh, I can't even see you from my belly. Cookies, dude. I got a whole big box of them over the weekend at Sam's Club.
How many are left?
Oh.
None.
Well, the kids had some.
What kind? Chocolate chip? What?
M&M chocolate chip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's not that many in those, right? How many are in those?
It was a big plastic, the cake size. It's about 50. I didn't.
Do you think you had 30 or more?
Yes, 100%.
If I put the number at 40.
Since Saturday when I got them, I'd say the over-under would be 41.5.
Wow.
Because here's the thing.
And I love cookies. That's a lot.
But I hadn't had cookies in a long time because we just didn't have them in the house. And then I went to Sam's Club on Saturday, which is a bad decision. And I'm grabbing like, oh, here's a fat bag.
Saturday?
Yeah, was it Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday because we needed stuff for Sunday. Saturday.
And they're gone already?
Well,
yesterday?
You're not helping, Jason.
No, I'm trying to do the numbers per day. Like 13 a day.
I finished them yesterday. Well, because here's the thing. I like to eat them after dinner for dessert.
Okay, so there's 2?
But also, if I take a nap,
it's got.
I wake up and I need sweets. Like I might need them.
So you took a nap yesterday.
I took a nap yesterday. I think I took a little nap Sunday too.
Okay.
It was after golf, and I woke up and it's like, oh, I'm hungry. Here's a cookie, and I do the dad
you
thing.
Didn't have one.
No, dude, because I can throw a whole one in my mouth and just I'm like a snake. Like I just dislodge the jaw.
Maybe it's time to do the fast again.
I think I might need to slow. I need a few days because I'll do the dad thing where I'm just sitting there with like the carton of milk in my right hand and a cookie in my left. Just
really?
Oh yeah, that's a dad privilege. And I
so others can just drink the milk?
No.
I mean, but if it's not just your milk.
Well, no, it's the family milk.
So you drink from it and then let them pour their milk out.
Right. Yeah. I'm having kids put their stupid mouths on my.
But
milk.
Why is yours not?
Because I am the giver of life. I am the DNA.
That's the one thing you're allowed to do.
Yeah.
Does anyone else get grossed out by it?
My daughter used to whine about it. I was like, you don't have to have the milk.
Oh,
that's what I say to her.
That's a power play.
I say
my milk.
That's what my dad used to say to me, and I do it sometimes. I go, just understand something. This is my milk. I own this milk. I'm sharing it with you. I am giving you free milk.
What if she bought the milk?
Well, if she bought the milk, then I'd respect it.
And
I would. I would
it?
As a lesson. I would. If she came home and was like, "Daddy, I do not like the fact that you drink out of the milk carton," so I bought my. Now she wouldn't be allowed to have it for herself. I'm like, no. Well, then I'm not sharing any of my stuff. So that becomes the family.
If she bought her own milk, she couldn't have it for her own.
It's family milk. But
you're allowed to drink from the milk.
I would not drink from her.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
But she couldn't do that. Or could she?
With her own milk?
Yeah.
No, I'd have to be fair. I'd have to say yes. I would say yes. If you want to drink from the milk, that's fine. I reserve the right to also pour a glass, but I will not. I would. It is a do as I say.
Is there any other things that you drink from? Like, I don't know what else you have, like juice,
iced tea, juice. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, not all the time. I mean, it's not like I don't use glass.
And there's something about the milk carton that
they're really. It's a whole different thing. It's like her phone last night, right? We're trying to talk about this summer and activities, and all of a sudden I see her face light up and she's smiling at something. She's looking at her phone, and so I got to be like, hey, phone down. Like, come on, a screenager. Turn the phone over. And then finally she kept doing it. I said, just give me the phone. And she was giving me the look, and I'm like, bro, just give me the phone. I said, by the way, you're due for an audit here soon anyways, which this is something that always pisses off fellow parents. Like, she understands that I reserve the right to grab her phone at any point and look through it all I want. I look through every single thing in her phone, what pictures, texts, all that.
Dangerous.
You can trust me, dude. If you think I haven't had in the back of my head, God forbid, I'm going to see something I don't want. But that's the whole thing. And
what does this mean?
And I think about 2 years ago.
Is this code for something?
Oh, trust me. I got to look up like what, I know what like Riz and Delulu and, Skibbity and all these weird, you got to learn stuff, right? But like, it's a controversial statement, but I've always, she brought it up about 2 years ago. She's like, Daddy, it's my phone. Like, you shouldn't look through my phone. I'm like, bro, you got to remember the key. It's not your phone. It's literally my phone. I bought it. I pay the monthly bill. It's my phone.
Same idea. She buys her own phone.
When she buys her own phone and she pays her own monthly, I have no rights to that phone.
Okay.
I have no, and she's over 18. That's the other thing. I have no rights to the phone. And I got friends that are like, no, I'm not getting it. Come on, Dad, damn it. Like just are yelling at their parents. I'm like, bro, I would toss you in the pool and hold you under
Wow.
at some point until you figured it. Are you kidding me? The way some of these kids talk to their parents, like an expectation. It's like, bro, no, that's my phone. I get to look at it whenever I want. If that makes me the bad guy, that makes me the bad guy. Now, to be fair, I haven't looked at your phone in a few months.
I'll say a few hours.
Patrick says a camera adds 10 pounds. How many cameras were on you? Hey, actually, 3.
There you go.
Yeah. 30 pounds, see? A's and Angels tonight. Giants begin their series at the Rockies. And Dodgers Padres.
Okay.
The marquee. But, dude, did you see the Padres absolutely blow it last night?
Yes.
Shohei Ohtani hits a comebacker to the mound, and whoever the pitcher was pulled a little John Lester, just threw it into Tijuana. And then Shohei's on
just a bit outside.
I've always wanted, like, that is definitely, if there's a yip in baseball, that's got to be the yip, right? And like, how does that even happen? How do you rise to that? Mistakes happen. Everybody makes it. That's why it's called an error.
Mm-hmm.
How do you rise to that level? And that was not. It wasn't like the ones that always get me is when like the first baseman has to cross over to his right to field it, and the pitcher has to run, and the first baseman has to somehow not just toss the pitcher the ball, but like lead the pitcher. And I always feel like that's one of those plays that's far, far more difficult sometimes than it looks. Sometimes they just make it look incredibly easy. It's like, dude, that is not an easy play.
You do that little shuffle step to tag the
right,
bag.
and then you got to without jacking your ankle up or whatever, getting stepped on.
Right.
What I don't get, man, is how can you have a comebacker to the mound? You can throw it 66 feet 6 inches, but you can't throw it 10 feet,
right,
bro?
Yeah, get it together.
And you could just see in that game that once Ohtani so throws the ball away, he rounds first and heads up play, gets into second, and you could just see the energy in that game completely change at that point.
It could.
The energy just went through the roof in that game.
That energy.
So the energy was doing one thing, and then the energy did a completely different thing. That's your cue to start the music, Anthony. And it was just there it is.
The energy.
Poor guy. Carmichael Dave here for my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air, inviting you to take advantage of their $24.50 tune-up they've got going on right now. Hey, by the way, that's half price. That is a half price. Yeah, Russ, I know Shohei didn't score. I'm saying that led to the downfall in extras. Come on, man. Well, actually, Dave, Shohei didn't score. I was trying to do a lead into a commercial, dingus. Been around since 1981. Not Russ. American Energy Heating Air has been around since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau. A+ in the Better Business. You can't do better than that. There's no A++. They came out to my house. They replaced my air conditioning unit and my furnace. And man, my house is so cool. Future So Bride's got to wear shades. Yeah, that's right. Oh, and the bills are down too. What do you know? Take advantage of that for yourself. Look, you hear commercials all over the place. Everybody's got a deal. I've used American Energy for myself, and it wasn't a trade thing. I paid for it. My mother-in-law, my mom and dad, 2 of my good friends. I would never use it, or I would never recommend it if I didn't use it myself. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 and AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable. We'll take a break. When we come back, final segment, crosstalk and celebrity birthdays with Alan Stiles. We'll do it all next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sackdown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sackdown Sports app.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
According to Bogey Jones in the Daily Divot, golf is the best sport ever, and they provide a few reasons why. Some include no two courses are the same, so you'll never get bored. Some are wicked long, others have super thick rough, and others have fast greens. Enjoy the variety. You can make the game competitive with anyone. With other sports, bigger, stronger, younger opponents may have an edge. In golf, different tees and a formal handicap system makes it competitive, even if you're a 30 handicap. Golf can't be conquered. One day you can't miss a shot, the next day you want to throw all your clubs into the lake. The unpredictability is fascinating, and age is just a number. You can play when you're 70 years old. In fact, some don't take up the game until later in life, but don't wait that long. And you'll meet amazing people, celebrities, athletes, successful CEOs. You never know who you'll meet on a golf course. And oh yeah, it's a game. So have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Alan Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. Shea Langoliers exited a game last week after experiencing discomfort following a swing. The A's will have more information as to the severity of the injury after he undergoes further testing. Miguel Andujar, out with that right oblique strain, suffered it during a swing as well. He will be out a couple weeks, if not longer, per the A's Director of Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation, Brian Shulman. That was your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. Hey, I'm Alan Stiles. Have an injury? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, an injury law firm, has many happy clients in Sacramento and the surrounding areas who have called Downtown. Get paid for your injuries from slip and falls or auto accidents. One of their most recent settlements was $1.5 million for a motorcycle accident. Have you had an auto accident? Call Downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. And visit them at calldowntown.com.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise Guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Need a new water heater? Call Bell Brothers. Need drain or sewer work? Call Bell Brothers. Need a free plumbing estimate? Call Bell Brothers. We don't guess at plumbing and drain problems. We use advanced camera inspections and diagnostics to identify the issues. We're fast, reliable, and respect your time by showing up when we say we will. Our technicians are all background checked, drug tested, and will leave the work area cleaner than they found it. The price we quote is the price you pay. We are the No Surprise Guys. With more technicians, more trucks, and more experience. We get the job done right the first time. No surprises. Don't wait. Call Bell Brothers today for a free plumbing estimate or book online at nosurpriseguys.com. That's nosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things. And now, here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
I just found myself in the hallway singing Suddenly, and I forgot for a second who sang it. I'm not doing a bit, by the way.
Billy Ocean.
Yeah, Billy Ocean.
William Ocean.
And I'm always reminded that that's it's one of my favorite factoids. The two times in popular culture the only two times in popular culture I can think of in which it's pronounced Caribbean and not Caribbean. You know what the other one is, Alan? So you got Caribbean Queen. There's one other bit in popular culture that you would know that is not pronounced Caribbean. Pronounced Caribbean.
Carabiner?
Like the area, the Caribbean. Like I'm going to go to the Caribbean. We always say, I'm going to go to the Caribbean.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't.
No? Pretty good movies. Pretty popular. Pretty popular franchise.
I would know. It's Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. But it's not Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right?
The ride at Disneyland.
Yeah, the ride at Disneyland.
Well, and it was just her birthday.
Who? Oh,
Natalie Portman?
Yes. Yeah. Natalie Portman.
Nightly.
Nate Portman.
Did you watch Black Swan?
No.
Just saying.
Did you last night?
I tried.
Oh, okay.
Is that really a rewatchable? You weren't doing a bit yesterday.
No. You ask anybody.
I believe you.
Watched it probably 14 times.
How was did you play golf yet?
No, Father's Day.
Oh, okay. I just remember the golf talk we had yesterday.
Yeah, Father's Day.
Describe your game?
Yeah, describe your game.
Describe it.
Describe it.
I can get off the tee.
Okay.
One thing is going to be missing every day.
That's
right.
Golf. But like you feel if you played 4 times, what's most consistently there?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say they don't call me second shot Johnny for nothing.
They really don't.
I don't know.
So what does that mean? You drop a second ball and you hit better there, or your second
So
shot?
I tried I'm still working on this endorsement along with 18 others, but I have about 12 hybrids in my bag, and my buddies call me a grandpa golfer. Because I have about 2 or 3 hybrids. I found this brand on Instagram. So I have a 4 hybrid normal, 2 hybrid normal, 5 hybrid, and a 7 hybrid.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I can get it going a little
Nothing
bit.
wrong with that.
There's 0 loft and it just smokes the green. But
I hit my hybrids so much better than I hit my irons on average. I don't think there's any. I like the way golf is going, where
That's right.
You got people that have like 7s that are hybrids.
No, that's what I have one.
Yeah, great, good.
And people just say, Alan, why don't you just take a lesson?
You know, there's just so much weird snobbery. What?
Yeah.
Okay. Red, white, blue, black, or gold. What tees do you play from?
Normally, we play from the blues.
You play from. Why not the whites?
I'll play from the whites for sure.
Why not the reds? I'm asking.
Can we play from the reds?
Yeah, absolutely. Why couldn't we? That's an important question. Be honest. I'm not doing a
Is that
bit.
ladies or no?
It's the forward tees. It's not the ladies' tees.
What's the ladies' tees?
Ladies can also use those tees, but PGA is trying to do a thing. In fact, we had Tom Morton on earlier.
So there are no ladies' tees.
There are. I mean, they'll play the red tees, but those are the forward tees. And they have this chart that's like, if your average scoring is X, you should play the forward tees. And then you move it back as you go up. And I'm pretty sure all 3 of us are probably the white tees, but more closer to the red and whites than the white and blues. If you go by maybe Jason.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Hey, I'd love it.
Also, as I always say, normalize scrambles.
I don't agree with that. If I'm paying 80,
what?
I want to take
You're still
every hack.
Nothing like hitting a pipe in a nice long drive down the middle on a par 5. You got like 170, 200 to go. You pull out your 3-wood and you just shank it into the bushes.
Chunk Master Flex.
Nothing ruins your day more than just taking a snowman.
Where's the car girl?
Yeah, exactly. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends. Nothing says family and friends more than Crumble cookies. Hey, can I get a breakfast ball? Hey, how about a breakfast cookie? Brought to you by Crumble Cookies.
Okay, guys, on this date, in what year did the movie Speed come out?
1997.
It's Nicolas Cage?
No.
Yes.
99.
I don't know this movie at all. I'm going to go 2000.
Dave is the closest, 1994.
No.
Wow.
Happy birthday to Kate Upton.
Verlander.
Oh, Mrs. Verlander. Ooh, how old is she? 40.
You know what they say.
What they say. 42.
Let's do 43.
Okay, we are not in the right decade. She is 33.
Oh, Justin.
That's crazy.
Justin.
We've known about her a long time.
That's a San Francisco Giant.
How old was she? I feel like everyone's going to know this, at least what I'm referring to. How old was she when she was on the horse?
20s?
You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. How old was she? Jeez.
Justin.
Happy birthday to Elizabeth Hurley.
Oh.
I mean, bring that up after the show. Just be like, you were going to tell me
horse?
something. No, the Elizabeth Hurley. Elizabeth Hurley. Elizabeth Hurley is 53. Let me see your random. 53.
There you go. 50. Even. Steven.
49.
She is 60 today.
Oh, Lizzie.
Happy birthday to Sasha Obama.
The younger one.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Malia?
I don't know. I don't know who's
Actually, the older one?
Yeah.
The younger one.
I'm going to say 25 and hope.
Sasha, the Malia. No.
23.
22.
We have a tie. She's 24.
Younger one.
Happy birthday to comedian Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. Bill Burr. That was the guy in Lord of the Rings, right? That had the ring. Bill Burr Baggins. William Aaron Burr is 50. He's 50 today. Congratulations, Bill.
52.
55.
Anthony's closest, 57.
What?
Hey. Happy birthday to Jeff Teague.
Man, that guy, right?
That guy.
That podcast. Loves a good podcast, right?
39.
He played for a while.
He sure
I
did.
think Dave might be right.
Yeah, I think I am too.
38, though.
40.
Alan's closest, 37.
Jeez.
Happy birthday to former Chargers quarterback Dan Fouts.
Bolt up.
66.
Really?
Think about when he was
64.
Yeah.
Right, if you do the math.
Yeah, you're doing the math.
63.
Dave's closest, he's 74.
Oh, what?
We are.
And last but not least, former Reds infielder, I think, Pokey Reese.
Poke.
Poke.
Oh, you know what, dude? I was off a decade with Dan Fouts because of my math, not because, that was bad math on my part.
I know, and I was copying you.
How about Poke?
So 52.
Hit that.
You know what they say
What do they say?
about baseball players?
Reese don't mean
55.
56.
We have a correct answer. It goes to Carmichael Dave.
Thank you.
52.
That's right, buddy.
He knows his Reds.
I
middle
know my
infielders.
pokies. What? What's that even mean? Alan. It's coming up on the show today. Wow, you got to turn your mic on.
What's coming up on the show, Grant?
I'm sorry, I was just messing with you. Grant who?
There's a report out.
Grant Absinthe? I did not. I swear on my kids, I didn't touch it that
Kings
time. I'm moving my hand.
Are in conversations with the Hawks and the Cavs for a point guard.
Oh, come on.
One has a.
See where my hands are? That's your guy, Kyle. What did he mess with you with? Oh, he's the one that cut you off yesterday, right? Man, you got it.
Eric Martin's at 11.
Yeah. But I swear to God, if this team mortgages their future for Trae Young, I'm going to stab myself right in the perineum. All right, for Tom Morton, for Kevin Nagel, for Alan Stiles, for Anthony, we'll see you tomorrow. Alan's next. Love you. Bye-bye now.
Live and local.
With everything 49ers.